What? What?
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean I'm on the wrong button?
Are we online?
We're online.
Oh, I got a notification on my
Someone
phone.
else is going to have to tweet. Someone tweet.
Oh,
I-
shit.
I don't know how to tweet. I mean,
I deleted my account, so.
Well,
Fuck
delete
it.
your account.
Yeah.
Did you actually delete your account?
Not yet.
Oh.
It hasn't shown me that I've been 10 years. I did see yesterday.
You can
BMFcast
go to
Twitter was
Twitter on
10
there.
years.
Our Twitter?
Yes. Yesterday was our 10-year anniversary
What was?
of being on Twitter.
Oh.
So we apparently set up the BMFcast account right before we actually did any episodes.
Oh, did someone change the password?
Well, we changed it a while ago.
Oh, well then.
Oh, on Twitter?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what it is. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
We're all like, let's not say it.
Yeah.
However,
I just have to run through the jokes in my head, and
Yep.
then eventually we get there.
No, we don't base it on jokes.
I can't believe someone hacked the one.
We base it on dead pet names.
Yeah, but the one we had for ages, like, I'm still amazed that somehow,
I have no idea how that
How?
happened.
How what?
how the original password
I think
got
somebody
hacked.
somebody
It
must
did?
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you remember that day that our that WordPress got all funky, and like
Yeah.
our site had the weird Russian shit on it or whatever.
I remember.
Yeah, but I mean, was that? Did we have that password for the admin account on
that was not the
WordPress?
original
I
password.
don't
That
think
was
it
the
was.
second main password. I don't remember what the first one was.
I think there must
Yeah.
have been a data breach or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it was
because we had that one for like from the inception.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had
Yeah.
because that was a joke that we made even before the show started
Yeah.
that nobody remembers but us. And now we can't use it anymore.
That's fine.
Can't use it anymore. The joke.
No, I mean just as a password.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure.
It was such an easy one to remember too.
It was. Yeah.
God. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
People listening are like,
Now we
Are
go.
they talking about password? What the?
Now we have another inside joke as our password.
Tweet.
God damn it! Got to change our password because it was tweet.
Sorry. Whoops. Actually, it was tweet, tweet, tweet.
Oh, okay. Well, it's totally different then.
Oh, I had the emphasis on the wrong tweet. Tweet.
Huh.
Damn it.
Let's see. Retweet.
RT.
Let's go ahead and like that. too.
Retweet with comment.
Tweet.
Yeah, we have to do that.
Yeah.
Come on, it's part of.
I know.
Tweet. Just start making random bark noises.
Yeah, all these things. That's what we do.
It is.
Oh man,
It's what we do here.
It is what we do here.
Each and every week.
We
Oh,
like to have
fantastic.
fun here.
Do we?
We're all about having fun.
Who gets to do that part next week?
What? Just go tweet.
No, yes. No, that's
I'll
all of
do
our
that.
jobs.
I got it covered. Don't worry,
I meant the the explain what we do, or could we?
That's me.
Chuck.
Whoever sits in the chair does it, except
Yeah.
you're still going to do it this week because you're here.
Right.
Because Chuck's used to doing it for extra.
So after this week's episode, can we stop doing the plot summary? Remember we said something about I could stop doing the plot summary.
You said something about wanting to do the plot summary, and none of us agreed with you.
Yeah.
I thought no,
vetoed.
you said there was a date. You were like, no, we have to like in season 2 we can.
Oh yeah, we're not on season 2 yet.
No, we
Right.
have to get to 500 episodes before
No.
season 2 starts. Yeah, that's how it works.
No.
Yeah, those are Hollywood rules.
So you don't like doing the plot synopsis?
What? No, it's becoming.
Why is this on me now?
No, I'm sorry. These headphones fucking suck.
I feel attacked.
These headphones are awful.
Oh.
No.
Do you want to trade? Because
no.
I hate these.
I just
Yes, please trade.
you hate comfortable
God damn it,
headphones. that
these
you
are
can hear.
awful.
Give each other your ear mites. Just swap it.
Take
Just
these
give it.
headphones.
You know what? Taste them, lick them, hand them back and forth.
I can't. I can't.
Swap chairs and everything goes to absolute dog shit.
I just cannot.
Chuck's been so used to shitty headphones that comfortable ones are unacceptable.
I have a different head.
I'm still not quite used to the sound of my new ones.
Oh God, this is
They-
amazing.
like the vibrato is
Oh,
way off.
This is so good. I can hear myself.
It's
Did you
it's a lot
turn?
different
Did you
for
turn
me
these
still.
down?
I didn't touch them.
No. I mean, did you turn them down on there?
I didn't touch that either.
Okay, well they're lower. I'm asking if you. Can.
It's probably that
mic.
you're on a different microphone.
I know.
Yeah.
Gee,
no,
it's like-
I'm having a hard time hearing everyone. Is what I mean.
I
Well,
didn't touch it.
Maybe you should
goddamn
unfuck
thing.
your ears.
I'm asking if you could turn it up.
It's like these guys have done
What do
an
you want me
extra
to turn?
100 episodes together, and they
Tell
have
me
that,
what to turn.
that extra built-up animosity.
Yeah.
This?
That's why we're getting along so much better.
small
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
we're
good.
like
You
seeing
like
each
that?
other
Never see
once
each
a
other.
week.
Is that,
We're
you hear us
like-
now? You hear us all talking at the same time?
I take
Is it
every
good?
other week off.
Yeah.
No, to answer your question, the plot summaries are getting increasingly worse, inaccurate, and hard to find.
That's the
That's
best.
part of
Just
the
like
charm.
us.
All right, then I'll keep doing it.
All of those things are true.
Would you like us to write them?
We should start doing user. We should start using user reviews from IMDb. Like this one, this week's is it's fucking gold.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
The user plot summary or user review?
Just a user review. Yeah.
Let's just turn the podcast into that. We'll just read user reviews on IMDb, and then we'll give it our own rating.
Well, I gotta see which one you're talking about here.
I can read it to you if you'd like, if you can hear it.
Can you hear it? Can you hear that? Or are you just reading it yourself?
The not even 4 out of 10, the first one?
Yeah, the 3 out of 10 by Clay J-18274.
Oh, no, this one's from Quincy Theodore.
Oh,
They must
living
just...
the 18274 life.
Well,
There you go.
Quincy?
Quincy
The Clay J one?
MD.
Oh.
What is Jack Klugman reviewing IMDb movies for? The heck?
What?
He's Quincy.
It's Quincy.
He's dead.
That's a joke for the olds.
Oh,
Like Me
okay.
and Chuck, we knew who Quincy was.
Yeah.
I used to watch that with my grandfather.
Yeah.
He liked Quincy.
I knew your grandfather.
He was a medical examiner.
Yeah. He's like, he was a doctor. He figured shit out.
Dr.
It's
Quincy,
like, yeah,
medical examiner.
That's what doctors do.
Yep. Solved crimes.
He's like a detective and a doctor.
Saved the department a lot of money that way.
A doctective. Man. So,
Yeah.
10 years have been building up to this.
Yeah. We quit.
What?
No.
We're out.
No.
Oh, we're not.
We
I thought
quit
we were,
no quarters. We didn't quit this.
Right. No quarters is canceled.
Man.
The network canceled 4 quarters.
4 quarters?
No quarters.
The network canceled 4 quarters. We're going to no quarters.
We can only do hockey now, 3 periods.
Yeah. It's like college hoops.
Or soccer,
Oh,
because they only
man.
have 2 halves.
So what? So No Pretense made it to what? 10 episodes?
13.
Oh, 13?
Yeah.
Lucky number 13. What was the final episode?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
But-
so long ago.
So we still have them somewhere, though?
I have all the episodes. The problem is that the website's offline. The Wayback Machine only archived the first 10 descriptions. So for the last 3 episodes, I don't know what they are.
But you have an MP3
I do,
somewhere
yes.
of-
I was
So-
going to say, if you listen to it for roughly
I
10
know.
seconds, you will find out what
But
it's
it's just
about.
funny to me that there are 3 episodes where I'm like, I don't know what this is.
I know there's a wrestling one.
That-
I know I partook in a 24 one, I
You did.
believe.
Yeah.
We had 2 24s,
We did.
right?
We did.
Because we
Did
did
we do the...
Live
Because
Another
you
Day.
came in and
Another
did the
Day.
Live Another Day.
That was such a good season.
It was. Threw that bitch
That
out
was
the
like...
window.
Yeah. That was like the perfect season. Because like that was like adapting it to, okay, we can't do 24 episodes worth of this because we can't stretch this bullshit enough.
It's too much bullshit.
So it was just like pure undiluted
It's
fuck
just-
yes.
Jack is just
Jack
going to murder
Rage.
everything.
Yeah.
Jack's in London. End time to
Yeah,
kill.
the only thing they fucked up was having the president live.
Nah, but that was so good though.
But they
'cause-
gave him such a good scene to die on.
yeah, but
And then they brought him back, and it was like, fuck, guys.
yeah, but also William Devane should have died when he drove that car off the cliff 3 seasons earlier.
Yes, of course.
He was like, for the Queen, Jack. Vroom."
Yeah, William Devane kind of was just like the Wolverine as the president and as an old man.
yeah.
Just like, he's back.
Yeah.
It's like, how? Mm-hmm. Like when they broke him out of the heroin prison, he's just like, I'm going to gun some motherfuckers down. I'm the president. God damn it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do like how he would always talk to Jack. He'd be like, now, Jack.
Jack. Listen.
He would stretch out those, Jack.
Yeah. Well, he's got so many teeth.
Yeah. You're going to cause a goddamn catastrophe.
Also,
So-
our seating arrangement has changed only in the temporary interim. What?
Nothing's changed.
Stop.
People have video. Like,
Yeah.
I,
I don't know what they're talking about.
Quit gaslighting the audience, Chuck.
I don't know what they're talking about.
With the shit.
What the shit indeed.
Next thing you're going to be like, yeah, I remember the first episode when we recorded it.
I was here for that.
Yeah, we had Sonic, and then
Yeah.
we recorded, and then we forgot, and all we had is 5 minutes of me being an idiot, and
Sonic
then going,
was
all
fun.
right, somebody let's start this, and then a blank.
A blank.
Whatever we had back then. What did we record on? The old mixer still had a
Yeah.
little SD card?
no, it was the one that actually had the hard drive in it.
Oh.
That's what happened. Is the hard drive went click, 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 boom.
Did it die?
Yeah.
All the way? Okay.
Oh yeah, that thing did. It did.
But that was like in the episodes in like the 50s, right?
Yeah, we started recording in the 1950s.
No, I'm talking about how many like how many episodes did that thing log
Oh,
before it died?
It lasted a little while.
No.
Yeah, at least a year, maybe 2. Because I'd had that prior to that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't buy it just for the podcast.
Yeah, you were a mixer. All right. Ooh.
The thing, the top will come off if you're not.
I know. That's why I was trying to be careful.
Oh. And what's weird is like there's nothing to tighten down that I can tell.
Yeah, it's just slid on there.
Yeah. I guess I could super glue it.
Good.
Get some Gorilla Glue.
Mm.
I guess we should start this. I guess that's why you picked up the clapper.
They were talking about it in the
Ape
chat.
glue.
I wanted to give everybody the clap.
Chuck. Chuck. Making jokes.
Sorry, I apologize.
Good one. See, this is the only reason we let Chuck on is because he's the easiest mark ever. Just like, how can we make Chuck laugh? Do something goofy.
Just do anything.
Make weird mouth sounds.
Yep. Sometimes you can just say something with a tone, and Chuck will just lose it.
Oh, you mean with a tone?
No, the sauce
Yeah,
didn't get him. No, see, he knew the sauce was coming.
Yeah.
See, there.
Oh,
yeah.
oh yeah.
She liked
Oh yeah.
I
The
like
sauce
surprise.
Hey, Chuck, Chuck.
Sauce is
She liked
always.
to do the wild thing. I said it with a tone. Look.
Oh, I get it.
The sauce is always coming.
See, told you.
Jism.
This is good. You guys,
Okay,
this is great.
Okay,
Happy 10-year anniversary.
don't ask me why, but I've always wondered, how did that word arrive?
Like,
Jism. Like,
Oh, I'll
was
tell you
something
how
just
it
like,
came.
What? Jism. That was that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was it like
Yeah.
a?
it's a little known fact, but it's actually sadly Bill Cosby that coined that term.
No. Oh no.
It came
Yeah.
unexpectedly.
Schism, scasm, jism, jasm.
It just. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder where words came from sometimes,
Yeah.
because all words are made up. Obviously.
Who first ejaculated jism?
Adam.
Yes. Adam.
No.
From whose mouth ejaculated the word jism the first time?
I mean,
It's probably just some guy named Frank Jism who's like, yeah, I really like to fuck.
just not so private eye. More in the public eye. In everybody's eye.
You would private into your eye.
But yeah, I just imagine that poor person who's like, yeah,
Frank Jism,
Yeah.
public dick.
Franklin was my father. Franklin Jism.
Franklin Jism. Franklin
Just
Jism.
call me Frank Jism.
F jizz.
But I do feel bad for people whose like last names are shit that like becomes.
I still say one of the first ones. The funniest thing to me is
Like all the Hitlers out there. Feel bad for them.
I don't.
All the non-related Hitlers.
You can change your name. Like, and if there's ever a case, that's a good case for changing your name. But
Yes, but still.
what
Yeah,
I
like
what-
Christopher Hitler. He's like, oh, fuck, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call myself Topher. Topher Hitler.
that's the part he wanted to change.
Yeah, I mean, how would you go through life with a name like Christopher?
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on.
Well, what I love is like email addresses, like network sign-ons, where you have that really unfortunate first initial last name. Like I worked with someone, I think her name was like Sharon, and her last name was Hart.
Shart.
Yeah, so her
nice.
login was Shart.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Well, and it does not like Jen and I when we worked together, when we were married, like when we ended up working together at some point, and we were both J Mackey, so she had to be like J Mackey 2, and she was very angry. about that.
Oh no.
Second class citizen.
Yep. I was like, too bad. I was here first.
Yeah.
You didn't have to take my name.
Somebody was F Jism too.
Yeah.
Son of Frank Jism.
Yep. When Frank went to work with his dad at the Jism factory.
Jism Jr.
Jism and Sons.
many sons.
They started a law firm, Jism and Jism.
Come on in.
Johnson Jism.
We're the lawyers with spunk.
10 years, and this is where we ended up. Huh?
Seaman.
Oh, they're the primary lawyers for Siemens.
Ejaculate.
Yeah. We're done now. Go ahead. Slate it.
Just like that Tribe Called Quest lyric. He's like,
Seminole
Jism on your
Festival.
couch, now you got Siemens furniture. It's so good.
Chuck, this is the time you decide not to laugh. You're like, I am appalled.
I am above.
We're not putting enough sauce on how we say it.
Yeah.
So Chuck's like, I'm not
Ejaculate.
interested in this brand of
This
humor.
This is just so beneath us.
Is it?
It is.
It's not. It really isn't.
All right. Anyway, sorry about the whole Jism diversion.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Jism diversion. Diversion jism.
Oh, that's my favorite band, Jism Diversion.
Oh yeah.
We're a sort of Guar-esque Joy Division cover band.
Yeah. You don't want to go to their live show.
You really don't.
No.
Bring a towel.
All right. Speaking of, bring a towel.
Oh, that's right. It's still me. It's everything threw me off. I'm so sorry. I'm like, what are you
10
waiting for?
years, we'll figure it out.
I forgot I still have to do this shit, even though I'm sitting over here. Sorry.
Gotta do this shit.
Fuck. All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey,
BMFcast.
Episode 457.
Wow.
Yes.
What a
Many
monumental
numbers.
number.
Oh my god.
457 Magnum.
Yeah, we're 100 better. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And what we do each and every episode of this here BMFcast for 10 years is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie, come in here and talk about it for the first half, and then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 Jacksons and Robot Jocks.
Oh my god, Robot Jocks.
However, hold up. Hey, there are sometimes bad movies, as in Stay Away. They get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags, as in giant bags of trash in which they belong.
Garbage. Get it out.
Boo.
Sack them up. For 10 long years,
Yeah.
we have been sacking up bags of movies.
Yep. Now we got all that out of the way, we can say this is our 10-year anniversary show.
Man.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm just throwing that out there. You
I'm
know?
glad I'm here.
Man.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm glad I made it.
That's crazy.
So, for 10 years, we decided to watch 4 Got 10. Get it?
Oh,
because there's 4 of us,
us.
and we got 10 years up in this bitch
We should be given 10 years of actual prison
for this level
for
of
this.
bad tie-in thing.
Boy.
Yeah. This is from 2015. It's a straight-to-home media joint, but it had some people in it that, we like.
It
Yeah.
did. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna read a very quick plot summary.
All
Go
right.
for it.
Because apparently we're still doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't want to, but we're going to make
We're
you.
doing
Don't
it's
fuck
fine.
with tradition.
Brian Barnes wakes up in the desert, wounded and with no memory and no idea why he's surrounded by 8 bodies, a van with $4 million in cash, and a van full of cocaine. There's more, but we'll talk about it.
We've all had that kind of
And,
weekend.
and
Yeah.
also, even right there, it's fucking $3 million. Get shit right, people.
Yep.
Right.
This is why I don't want to read these things. People are like, I don't know, I didn't really watch the movie, but I want to write about it.
Yeah. So anyway, not only the name, which is a bad, abbreviation thing, but works for what we're doing today.
Yeah.
It had a bunch of people that we like.
It does.
First off, of course, Dolph.
Dolph balls.
Yeah. From Red Scorpion, The Punisher, I Come in Peace, Showdown in Little Tokyo, Johnny Mnemonic, Command Performance, In the Name of the King, Package, Kindergarten Cop 2, Don't Kill It, Altitude, and also on Extra, Blackwater. Danny Trejo
Blackwater.
from The Hidden, Bulletproof, Maniac Cop 2, Mark for Death, Guns, Cross, and from Extra, Reindeer Games, and all 4 Spy Kids movies.
Uh-huh.
And Michael Pare from Streets of Fire, Moon 44, Dragon Fight, fucking Dragon Fight, dude, and Far Cry.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in Far Cry.
Oh yeah.
Far Cry.
I forgot we watched Far Cry.
He's no Till Schweiger.
What
That's
was
so
Moon
true.
44?
Exactly.
It was from our 1990 theme year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. One of the
Apparently-
100 movies that we
I
did.
don't- wasn't
Chuck tells
it
us
a,
we vetoed off another movie and
Yeah.
went into Moon 44.
Wasn't it an Emmerich movie?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was
Also?
Emmerich's
Yeah.
like
I think
last.
Malcolm McDowell was in it.
Yeah, it was Emmerich's last movie before like making like Stargate and shit that you actually
Yeah.
heard of.
I honestly kind of liked it a little bit, only because I remember it being like that look of all those mid, 1990 era.
It was grimy and
Yeah.
spacey and
Yeah, like any 1990 space movie. What
Yeah.
you're thinking about is probably what Moon 44 looks like.
I remember it had a helicopter in space, and we were all questioning how that worked.
I think that's right.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah,
yeah.
but there you go. Mm-hmm. There are other people in this movie that we have never seen before.
No.
Vivica Fox.
Other than Vivica Fox,
Yeah.
not a BMFcast alum, but you know.
Hasn't been on the BMFcast. We haven't seen her. Them's the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm aware of who she is.
Me
all I'm
too.
saying.
Yes, I saw Kill Bill.
I saw Independence Day.
Yeah, Roland Emmerich.
Moon 44.
Sign up for the IMDb trivia.
Follow the money. Illuminati. Lizard people. Vivica Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all ties back to Vivica Fox.
It does. All of your
So-
questions will be answered. Yeah.
So-
Yeah, nobody really wants to talk about this, do they?
No.
Well, this is basically one of those late '90s Tarantino knockoff movies. Mm-hmm. Except it was made in 2015.
Kind of more like, I mean, it's like the plot of a Tarantino knockoff movie with the editing style of latter day Tony Scott, or someone that wants to be latter day Tony
Yeah.
Scott.
Mixed with like
little Oliver Stone too.
mixed with video game cutscenes. Because the thing that we see immediately is whenever a character is introduced, there's
Well, one
a-
that matters, not like
Well,
every
yeah.
single person.
No, but it's a lot of them
It's a
that
lot of
kind of
them, yeah.
probably shouldn't matter, but it turns it into like a stylized graphic freeze frame of the person that smashes like their nickname on the screen.
Yeah.
Vivica Fox is the Suit, and our main guy is Brian, is the Outlaw, and Dolph. I don't even remember what they called Dolph.
The agent, maybe.
agent.
or
Yeah,
something?
it's like all of them get these cutesy nicknames that I'll note nobody in the movie ever refers to any of them as, except maybe
Well, the sheriff.
kid,
The sheriff.
kid, and the sheriff.
Yeah. And we come to find out why the kid has got the little nickname of the kid. The one I really didn't understand, and I'm still struggling to understand, is what feels like side characters get the swooshy intro thing, and it's later in the movie. But there's a guy identified as the lawyer, and his wife, who's identified as the
Broad,
But
but,
it's
spelled
the
wrong.
Browd.
yeah.
Proud.
And I was wondering, is that just like we don't know how to spell broad, or
No, we know how to spell broad. They
Huh?
don't.
Yeah, I know. That was supposition
What?
on there.
Objection.
Okay,
What?
overruled.
Sustained.
I'm so confused. Case closed.
Mistral.
Third base.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying was that they didn't know how to spell broad,
I
or
d-
is
I
it
don't
does
know.
it have a meaning? Like I tried to Google it, it was like I think people are just like, you don't know how to spell broad, you fucking idiot.
Maybe the commentary track will explain it all.
okay.
Oh wait, no, this came out after the point where literally every movie got a commentary track.
Right.
Based on seeing other things misspelled in this movie,
It was probably just misspelling.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, not
Yeah.
important. But yes, our main guy Brian wakes up.
Brian.
Or first, it's all right. So this is also one of those movies that kind of jumps around in time a little bit, depending on when it feels like it. Because Brian wakes up and he's leaned up against a car, all but looks dead, surrounded by bodies, pulling on him, and then he's like, I'm alive, and takes his shirt off, and he's like got a really tiny bulletproof vest on,
Yeah,
like
only covers his chest and lungs.
it's like a
lung area,
Oshkosh
basically.
Bagosh bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
It's like an 80s half shirt.
Yeah. And but he got shot like just below it, like in the side, one of those like, ow, that stings, and that sure bleeds a lot, but man, I can just keep going.
Rub some dirt on
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
And also like a head wound because he fell up against like a 57 Chrysler with like one of those like deadly bumper things that it had,
Right.
Well, it wasn't just enough that it was a metal bumper. They were like, what if we put spikes on them too?
Yeah.
Just to really encourage kids not to walk in
Yeah.
front of them.
And I'll note he's played by Johnny Messner, who somehow we've never seen, despite
Yeah.
being in like a billion of these type of movies that we probably should have seen.
check him out on my IMDb.
Yeah, I was
going
to say he's notable for his IMDb photo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You should go see that.
It's
one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he just kind of wakes up and he's like gathering himself, like checking bodies, like are they dead, kicking guns away, and like what the hell, and he's obviously forgotten what has happened to him because yeah, 'cause he hit his head.
That's what "forgot 10"
Yeah,
means.
it is.
I honestly,
It didn't click with me until it showed up on screen.
when I saw the title card, you and I both at the same time went, "Oh."
like wait, when we were planning to do this movie, you didn't realize it was the word forgotten?
No,
I didn't look up
thought
anything about it.
I thought it was going to be
whatsoever.
some gang of 4 getting 10 somethings.
Yeah, I figured it was 4 dudes who were going to get 10 years in prison, and
Yeah.
they just got out, and they were going to do something crazy.
Yep.
All right.
That's yeah.
I mean,
That's
I
what
didn't
I thought it was going to be.
I didn't read
was
anything
wrong.
about this. I read it as forgotten.
Never
written stupidly.
Never put it together.
It does have an alternate title of "The Good, the Bad, and the Dead."
Yeah, I'm glad it's not that.
That
Yes.
fucking sucks too.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah. So, but then it's like, okay, scramble time a little bit, unless he just. I don't really understand, but cops show up very shortly thereafter. The local sheriff and the kid, as they're identified with their swooshy intros. And for
The sheriff is Michael Pare.
yeah, and I can't tell if it's a time swap or if he was just like, oh shit, the sheriff's coming. Because he walked over there, like the plot summary said, there are 2 vans. One is filled with $3 million worth of cocaine, and the other one is filled with the $3 million. So he's just like, well, shit, this is crazy. Because they show up, and like, unless it's a time jump,
No, he sees them coming,
and he just
then
lays back down
dead.
and plays dead again. Yeah, okay, so they show up, and they're like, holy shit, what happened here? Typical small town sheriff bullshit things, and swooshy intros, and then he's like about to inspect Brian, and then of course he wakes up and like pulls a gun on him and. Oh no! I'm sorry.
Well, what happens is
Shit gets real.
Yeah.
They
before
find
that.
that he finds the money in the van.
Yeah, and he starts a
talks
speech.
to the
Yeah.
and talks to the kid, and is basically like,
We could take this money and
the kid's like, man, I got to go phone this in, and he's like,
hold up.
hold up a second.
Hey.
Yeah, and then he gives this whole thing about like, man, I'm Michael Pare. I was in Moon 44. I was actually in Streets of Fire as well, which is actually pretty cool. And I'm worn out. I'm done. I'm sick of
these streets
Yeah.
of fire.
Yeah. Sick of all the bullshit you got to put up with, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then the kid's like giving him this weird look, and he's like $3 million probably about in here. That could really change your life.
Don't you have? Didn't your wife just have a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't you use the money? I got 2 myself. They're about to go into college.
Yeah.
I got to pay for
Yep.
books.
And then like eventually,
and then
the kid's
when
just
the
like,
kid doesn't kind of
just
doesn't
like,
go with it, he's like,
you're
he's
fucking
like,
with me,
He's
aren't
like, I
you?
really had you go in, didn't I,
yeah.
kid?
all right, go ahead, call it in. And he goes to call it in, and blam, Michael Pare murders him.
Yep.
shoots
In
him
the back.
Yeah.
Yep.
How rude.
Kid walks away and he goes, "Sorry, kid."
Yeah, and I'm sorry. That's when Brian wakes up and pulls.
Well,
a gun on him.
then he walks over to Brian and is just like looking at him, and Brian swooshes up and just like, "Hey, I saw what you did to that
Yeah,
kid."
and they have a little bit of a standoff, and then like
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, let's talk about this." He's like, same way you talked about with that kid.
yeah, and then blam,
Blam.
shoots him, and looks like he.
Yeah,
kills
and
Michael
I was
Pare.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, I guess Michael Pare's not in the movie
Yeah.
anymore."
but
Fun little before the credits
Yeah, just a
cameo
little
from
cameo,
Michael
yeah.
Pare. But he's fine, actually.
yeah, and then all right, from this point forward, we just kind of got to talk about sort of what happens because it gets real jumpy at this point.
Yeah.
This is where it's like jumping.
This
all
is
over
where
the
it's just introducing everybody.
Right. So, all right. So, Dolph is a DEA agent. DEA agent, and he shows up to the scene. I think we see one brief scene of him somewhere else. Like,
He's just around.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Yeah.
in the area.
all right. So, local cops are like, we can't handle it. We got to call the crime scene investigators. And I guess because of the amount of drugs, they were like, oh, we also have to call the DEA. So everyone's like doing the fight over the crime scene bullshit thing. Dolph, of course, shows up. I mean,
They roll up in their Porsche.
yeah, they have like
The
a Porsche
SUV.
Yeah.
Cayenne, or I don't know what the fuck it is.
Cayenne.
I think that's more like the station wagon one. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I think it's Cayenne. Is what
Sure.
it's
All right. But it should be noted, like, whoever was the costume person on this apparently went to Dolphin and were like, how would you look like Michael Douglas from Falling Down? Because that's what we got for you.
Here's your dumb rimmed glasses.
Like, doesn't
and
he even have the short sleeve button down shirt too?
It's a long sleeve
Is
shirt.
it? Okay,
but-
so at least it's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got the weird horn rimmed glasses and all this, and he's just like trying to look like Egghead Dolph, which is actual Dolph. But
yeah, he's trying to look nerdy
Yeah.
in this, but
Not working.
nope.
Is he really trying to look nerdy? He just kind of looks.
He just looks like his shirt doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the character comes across as just like a desk guy, like never been out in the field, and I think that's more because of every take Dolph had was the first take because all his dialogue seems like he's reading it phonetically.
Yeah,
He's not emoting in this at all. Most of them are not. But like, the weird thing is Michael Pare is the best performer in this movie.
easily. Yes.
Everyone else seems gun shy about perform. Like Danny Trejo, who we haven't gotten to yet, but will show up later, is just afraid to emote. Like the character's supposed to be emoting, but he doesn't like raise his voice or anything. It's just everyone is like they're shooting in a library and someone's like shh.
Yeah.
In their defense, all of the dialogue is real bad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like
it's all first draft dialogue.
It is. It's just
is it
scene-filling.
first draft?
It
Like
just
rough draft, maybe.
maybe it's just one of those weird things where it feels like they think it's cooler than it is. Like whoever wrote
Obviously,
it.
yeah. I
you
mean,
know?
with the editing, that should tell you something.
I don't even feel like any of it is supposed to be clever. None of it has any kind of. It's all just back and forth procedural bullshit. It's
To touch on the editing real quick, there's a scene with Danny Trejo and somebody else. I've forgotten who it was because my mind is furiously trying to erase everything about this movie. Where the dialogue is out of order. Like there's no way anybody could actually try to write an actual conversation like this. Like they talk about one thing and then they interrupt it with some like non sequitur, like it came out of absolutely nowhere, and then they sort of it seems like even in reverse they go back to talking about the other thing. It's really like maybe whoever edited it didn't speak English. I'm not sure.
well, the characters will just show up because that's where they need to be. There's really no rhyme or reason as to why anyone ends up anywhere in this, and like characters will get information off screen that leads them to places. Like there's just no cohesive tissue in this movie that gets anything from point A to point B.
Yeah,
It's
it's just scenes.
Yes.
Well, the only sort of exception, except it's real dumb, is when Dolph actually gets to the crime scene. You know, like he's standing there out in the desert with all the dead bodies. He's talking to a CSI guy who's giving them like, well, we just started investigating. He's like, all right, just tell me, give me the basics. What do you have in your head? And the dude like lays out the whole scenario. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, this is your theory, like a very cohesive, like this guy shot this guy over here, and like
it's some random CSI guy
Yeah.
who's just like, well, here's what we think happened, and then he lays out exactly
pretty much
like he's seeing a computer simulation in his head
Right.
of exactly what happened, and it's like,
Maybe he had like one of those things, those little hologram things from Bones, where they just magically figure out everything.
could have been.
They go through all this, and he's like, okay, and then somewhere along the way, because they're right after the sort of slow introduction scene of Brian waking up and Michael Pare coming in and all that, which is played kind of slow and sort of normal. Like I was like, oh, we might be all right here, because other than the swooshy video game intro things, it wasn't seeming like it was trying to be edgy or crazy at that point.
No.
But then like he comes in, and then there's a 5 or 10 minute just dump of information, because we find out Michael Pare's still alive. Like he only got shot in the ear.
Shot in the ear.
Because that's where we actually saw it first off. Saw Dolph is in the hospital, because like they're like reattaching his ear in a like, oh look, we have gore effects. Scene, and he's like, oh, yeah, tell me when he wakes up. So he goes out to the crime scene, gets the thing from the CSI guy, and then he's like, oh, I think I'm being watched, and pulls out his binoculars and looks like over to the hills, and Danny Trejo is like there with his little henchman guy, just with a pair of binoculars, and the henchman guy with a sniper rifle, just watching the crime scene. And then we learned he's the drug lord, is his little flashy title thing, and that very quickly we find out, because he's looking at everybody and specifically like zooms in on the kid, the deputy that got shot by Michael Pare, and is like, I want you to get his body no matter what it takes. And it's like, okay, so he's related to him somehow, or he was an inside man. Turns out it's his son. That's why he's called the kid.
Yeah.
So like that's the only sort of like, it's sort of natural like introduction to another person other than just like swooshing over, except it's real dumb. Like, I mean, everything else is like, hey, we're over here now, and there's this person.
Right.
So that's the only like sort of natural, but not at all.
Yeah.
Because it's like if somebody is binocularing if that's a word,
Sure.
checking you out with binoculars, your crime scene,
Binocularizing.
Binocularizing. Thank you. And somebody is like standing there with a sniper rifle. I think you're going to take some action. Just like, hey, guy,
Probably.
like but
Nope.
But anyway,
Okay, I think we can sum up a lot of this movie
Yes.
real fast. Like, okay, for example, Vivica A. Fox is apparently in charge of whatever section of the DEA this is. She literally does nothing this entire movie. There's no sense in talking about her again.
other than there's one thing that has to be noted about their headquarters.
She gets
Oh
a
my God.
wicked awesome email.
Okay,
Yes.
she has the best like. She has the best email notification, but also like they have the best like crime board.
Yeah,
It's literally
it is my 7th grade science project.
I was going to say like
Yeah.
3rd grade science fair
Yeah.
project, like corkboard thing, like with this weird shirtless picture of Danny Trejo from like 20, 30 years ago,
Yeah.
and like circle like he's the boss
Well, it's
over
like
to this guy.
Sharpied arrows pointing at him
And I love that whenever she talks about him, she always says he's the most successful drug lord in history.
in the history of
Always
man.
like successful. I don't know what her measurement of successful is, but she mentions it, I believe, 3 times.
Yes.
I like
over
that-
the course of the movie.
Not only does it look like a science fair project, their crime board, red string whatever thing, string theory thing. I don't know. It's someone bothered to write like DEA in like the blocky letters you would do as a kid.
Oh, yeah, it
and
says, like,
colored them in.
Yeah.
DEA evidence
Yeah,
or something
but
like
it's
that.
like
DEA
but
evidence.
it's like someone made the fat like big D, little d, and then color it in.
Yeah.
Yep.
For each letter. And it's
yeah,
just
the director's 7-year-old son made the props for the.
it's so good.
It is funny too because she walks into the room like it's a break room basically, and people are eating their lunch, and she's like, "All right, wake up, people! I need every outhouse, farmhouse, blah blah blah." And then she marches out, and like no one does anything. You're like, "Well, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
Anyway, all of her scenes are fucking pointless. They don't mean anything.
No.
Danny Trejo's connection to this, besides that was his drugs, was the deputy is his son.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't give the son a job in the most successful drug thing of all time
Because he was trying to keep him safe.
because he wanted to keep him safe. So the kid decided to be a cop instead, and basically first day on the job got murdered by the sheriff.
I will say, only because I've seen a lot of movies, the way his little speech over his dead son went, I thought it was his nephew. Because the way
Right,
the way he said it was like, I promised your mother that I would keep you safe.
Yeah.
And most people don't say that about their own wife or
Right.
mother of their child. Like,
It
like
didn't come across like
well, I'm
this
just saying,
was
like
his
you would
son.
usually say like first name or I promised. I don't know. It's just the way he was phrasing it. I was like, oh, it's his nephew, and then someone else is like, oh, he was actually his son. I'm like, oh, really? Because I didn't get that from his little speech.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that connection. Danny Trejo tells his gang guy to go get the body. So they steal the body from the morgue, which works out for the sheriff because
He shot.
he's
guy.
the one who shot the deputy, but he's told that they didn't have a chance to get ballistics on the bullet because the body was stolen before anyone got the bullet. But then later in the movie, someone says some enterprising young intern went and got the bullet out and it matches your gun. So whatever. It's all fucking stupid. It doesn't mean anything. The main dude, Brian, is just bloody and gross and goes to a gas station and rubs Vaseline on his bullet wound and wraps some gauze around it.
Apparently that works because
guess.
he is like unaffected for the rest of the movie.
Yes, Vaseline just numbs it right up. The bullet will eventually push itself out.
Yeah, he seemed to have more problem with the head trauma later in the movie than the bullet wound.
Yeah.
It just seemed like he was woozy from getting conked on the
But
head.
basically, he doesn't remember anything unless he touches something, and then he dead zones bits of information about things.
Also the Crow. I don't know if you've seen a Crow movie, but
I've heard about them.
the Crow does that too.
I hear,
Oh, have you guys seen some of those?
I've seen a Crow or two.
I hear the third one's pretty good.
Yeah, the third one's all right. Yeah, sort of like Transformers. You're numb to Crow things, and so the third one's pretty good.
Yeah. So all that. There's another two. There are two characters. There's the misspelled broad and the lawyer who are married, but clearly hate each other.
Including a really uncomfortable scene.
He's basically going to rape her in their own kitchen because she was trying to get something out of the oven by not opening it, just dipping her hand down into it, and that starts a whole almost rape scene until Brian basically passes out in their driveway.
Yeah,
I think because he had a Windows phone in his pocket. Like he also had a driver's license, so he's like, "Oh, my name is Brian,
Right.
whatever, something." And
Yeah.
Barnes, and
He had a text that said number blocked and it had an address on it. And he basically drives to this house and passes out in the driveway. He hits his head on the horn, which is what stops the rape in progress, and they come
it
out.
was a rape horn.
They come out to see what's happening, and he's just like, "Get the fuck back, get away from me!" And then he ties them up in their garage. And then after that, she makes they're very loosely tied to two of the most rickety ass folding chairs you've ever seen. Like they could get out of this in 2 seconds. She eventually makes a bunch of noise to get Brian to come in there to let her out. Turns out she knows Brian is part of some part of this, and then they fuck.
Yeah.
And he's fine. Like, he's got a bullet wound right at, part of your body that's going to do a lot of bending if you're fucking.
Yep.
But doesn't bother him. Now, throughout this, he's like, can I trust you? I don't know. And then he touches her and has a flashback to someone with a lower back tattoo. And
the wrong lower back tattoo.
Yes, and then he spins her around and checks her out, and he's like, well, you have a lower back tattoo. I guess it checks out. Let's fuck.
I thought he was going to figure it out at some point. But
Well, all throughout the fucking, he keeps flashing back to fucking somebody else with the right lower back tattoo.
Because she's got a yin yang thing.
Yeah.
And then the other one has like some kind of weird flowery
Smiling
thing.
sun
Yeah.
thing. But anyway, that happens. And then at some point, she's like, where's the money, Lebowski? And he's just basically like...
Well, she's also like, you were supposed to come and get me and take me away from this.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. And
he also stopped at a bus depot or something and put all the money and drugs into a locker. So
Not the drugs. I don't know what he did with the drugs.
I think he just left the van
well,
with the
well,
drugs,
they could have been in
think.
one of those duffel bags, I guess.
because he still has one bag of money because he's got it with him in the house.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's like, come on, let's go. And then it's basically about, ooh, money. I like money. I'm going to, and you don't remember anything? You swear? Okay. You're going to give me this money now. I have a gun. Guy in the garage gets untied. Finally, after just struggling with the loosest ropes you've ever seen.
That guy was acting. Not well,
Yeah.
but he was
God,
acting.
that pathetic guy.
So anyway, they have a
I mean,
three-way
it's crazy because like
confusion.
as soon as he gets loose, the end game of the movie starts.
Pretty much because
Like, it's
Yeah,
really
I
weird.
was actually kind of surprised. I was
Yeah.
like, I think we're wrapping this up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
because
what?
Danny Trejo
But-
and Michael Pare have made a
Oh, he
an
came
alliance.
to his house. Well, Michael Pare. All right, so Michael Pare is like, first
He
off,
checked himself out of the hospital.
First off, he wakes up in the hospital. Dolph's like, "You need to tell me what everything that happened." And he's like,
Oh,
"Oh,
he shot
okay,
my ear,
yeah.
man."
There's one guy, and he shot both of us. You should go find him." And then he checks himself out of the hospital, goes home, starts packing a bag, and Danny Trejo and his goon like, knock or bust open his door, and he fights, and then he's basically like, "You know who I am, right? I'm the drug guy." And if you don't find out who killed my son, which, by the way, was your deputy, I'm going to kill you, and it'll be bad.
Yep.
So he's like, and I'll compensate you for it, too. And he's like, sounds good.
Yep.
Like, I was going to do that anyway.
Let's do that.
But he was leaving because he's like, oh, shit. Because, all right, he also had a meeting with some, like, other deputy sheriff guy, something or other, who was like...
Yeah, with an awesome voice.
Because like, his deputy's body disappears. Like, he gets a call, and it's like, yeah, his Sam or whatever the fuck, his body just disappeared. We don't know what the fuck happened.
He's like, sweet.
And he's like, cool. And he puts his bag down, like, well, I'm free and clear because ballistics won't know that it's that's the other thing, is like, from the very beginning, I was like, why the fuck, if he thinks he's surrounded by dead guys, did he not walk over and pick up one of the dead guy's guns and shoot his partner with that? But he doesn't. He uses his own revolver, and then he's like, oh shit, they're going to do ballistics, figure it out for me. I need to get the fuck out of here. He gets the call that the body's gone and is like, oh, I'm okay, except for then Danny Trejo shows up and threatens him.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, I'll help you find your son's killer. Totally on that. And you're going to pay me. Cool.
So they kind of have an alliance.
Yeah, except then he gets another call from that guy, and they go meet in a diner, and the guy's like, "Yeah, we still can't find his body. However, I didn't know this, but the ME like pulled out a shell, so we're running ballistics."
Yeah, that was the enterprising intern.
Yeah, and it came out. It was from your gun. He's like, this doesn't look good. He's like, I didn't do it, right? He's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, but still, I gotta dot the i's and stuff.
He's
so
like, well,
watch your back.
let me go
Jack.
clear my name, and so this.
But
guy lets him
that's
go.
basically, he's told him that's why he's locked out. That's
Yeah.
why the DEA has just shut him out of everything.
Yeah. Also, that guy is what leads him to the end game because
Yeah, he just basically gets a call on the radio at some point, like, Psh.
no.
The guy calls
Yeah.
him and says, all right.
He was getting a massage at like a shady ass
Right.
parlor,
Yeah.
and then he calls him and is like, "Look, I don't know if this is related or not, but we got a burglar alarm at the house of Danny
The lawyer
the
for
lawyer
Danny
for Danny
Trejo.
Trejo's lawyer."
Because when he escaped the garage, he set off the
Right.
burglar alarm.
So like he's like, "Oh well, okay, cool, I'll go check it out," and that's what basically sets up the end game because like lawyer dude's gotten loose, set off the burglar alarm. They're having like a standoff between the woman, the lawyer, and Brian.
Yep.
And so like they're having this whole thing, and then Michael Pare shows up and like,
Well, she shoots the lawyer before Michael Pare
right,
shows
that's
up.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
Lawyer's dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because the guy just continues to insult her until
Yeah.
she finally puts a bullet in him.
Right.
Like, I will find you. I will kill you.
And then she's got a gun on Brian. Brian goes over to check the money bag, also has a gun in the money bag, pulls it out, turns around on her, and that's when Michael Pare barges in.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well.
Yeah. Shotgun. You better hold.
And
hold
it's
up.
just basically like, where's the money?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's right there in the bag. He's like, that's not $3 million.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, I have a brain injury. I don't.
Oh, because
know
he
where the
also
money
walked
is.
in. Like, first thing he did was like walk over and clock him with the butt of the shotgun.
Yes, like maybe.
Which I actually kind of like. Okay, so we were talking about there's not being a lot of acting. I do like this one moment because I will say for him being mostly nondescript, this dude, the Johnny Messner guy, looks like Wolverine Logan,
Yeah.
like broken down, beat up Logan from the third Wolverine movie,
Yep.
and. Like, there's this moment where he gets clocked with a shotgun, and he's like, "Where's the money, Lebowski?" And he's like, "I don't know, all this brain trauma. I just have no idea." I just like the way he's just like the way he says that. It's like, but
he's okay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I guess somewhere the lady took his keys and the bag of money and slipped out while they were fighting because. Also, like along
She
the way,
slipped out during the gunfight.
yeah, because like
later,
Danny
I think.
Trejo and his guys show up at the house too.
Yes.
And like that's what basically starts this big crazy shootout thing.
Crazy bad.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it
this is when the editing goes out of control.
God, it is slow-mo at all the wrong times.
Well, they keep slow mowing like the muzzle flash of the guns.
Yeah.
like a lot.
Like, look, it's actual gunfire, and you're like, I
No,
don't
it's
think
not.
it is.
Yeah.
Because you're digitally manipulating the air around the gun.
You did that in After Effects.
Yeah. Plus, every single bullet that hits the surface leaves like no mark except
Yeah.
for like the cheap flash of a CGI thing.
Yeah, and it's just it's one of those things that just it feels like it's taking too long because every single shot fired is in slow motion. The only decent one is when he shoots like a propane tank or something next to a guy that lights the dude on fire.
That's like the second gunshot.
Yeah, I
and,
know.
And when it happens, you're like, what happened?
But it's
'Cause
it's also-
you just see a trash can. You're like, what was in that trash can?
It's also especially
nitroglycerin.
it's especially weird because like
Don't throw that out.
when they showed up, like the gun battle basically naturally progressed outside. Like all of Danny
Sure.
Trejo's men were outside,
Yeah,
and
you
like Michael Pare and Brian are like shooting at them,
Mm-hmm.
and Danny Trejo's just like slowly stalking through the house, like I am looking for you.
Yeah.
and it's like
we know where they are.
You do
They're
hear the
outside.
massive gunfire going on outside, right?
Who do you think they're shooting at?
Yeah, but yeah, he's just like I am looking for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, he's Ricky Ricardo.
Well, Pepe Le Pew, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So anyway, this is a 30-second gunfight that takes 20 minutes because of all the slow-mo. What happens is that eventually, so Brian gets to a point where he's got like one bullet left and puts his gun back in his pocket and is just going to fist fight some guy, but he doesn't get to fist fight that guy because that dude
Because Michael Pare shoots him.
shoots him
that-
from like off screen.
yeah, shoots him in the back. That dude's dead. And this guy, Brian, just stands there for the rest of the scene, just with his fists just fucking cocked and locked, ready to go. Like, I'm going to punch somebody. And then has nothing to do with what happens in the next 5 minutes.
Yep.
Because what happens is that Danny Trejo comes out and confronts Michael Pare because somehow Danny Trejo now has the information that you
Yeah.
killed my boy. And they start
Somebody
a gunfight.
called and told him.
Yeah. They start a gunfight 5 feet away from each other and
Well-
just keep shooting
Well,
each other.
Well, the best part is like so they shoot each of each other, like they shoot each other at the same time. Like one shoots and the other one, as they're going, like, oh, I got shot, shoots the other. So then it's like, oh, slow motion, like we're dying. Except then they start doing it again, and the camera slowly pulls back, and you realize they're now sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
And it was at this point I declared it a Mexican sit-off.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, and
They're
the-
literally 6 feet away from each
yeah,
other.
but like
it's like a Naked Gun visual joke.
But like they're like the rest of the bullets in their guns are getting one for one, like at
Yeah.
the same time.
And meanwhile, Brian is standing in the background,
Just-
fists still cocked.
I'm gonna fight
like
one of
up
you.
against the wall,
Well, dude,
hoping he doesn't get
like,
shot.
You can't go on StubHub and put your 2 tickets to the gun show up that fast, So he was going to make use of them.
yeah. So they kill each other, and then Brian just kind of puts his fist down and remembers that he has a gun and puts the magazine back in it, and then is just like, okay, I guess I'll leave now. And then at some point, the lady calls him, like, I have the money, haha. And I think that's the last we see of her.
Well,
Does
no,
she
she
call
doesn't
him?
even call him.
No, she
He-
doesn't.
What happens is he goes back in, gets the keys, and tries to go to pick up the rest of the money.
Right. And it's gone.
And it's gone.
yeah.
And then that's when he goes into the parking garage, and that's when Dolph goes Brian, we need to talk.
Yeah.
And
That's a good Dolph.
and Brian's like, how you know my name? He's
And
like,
that's about it. He's like back turned to him. He's like, how do you know my name? And Dolph's got all right. Dolph apparently I feel like we've seen plenty of movies where Dolph wields a gun.
Yes.
But they gave him the tiniest gun.
Oh, they did.
And
It's a
he is
little-
holding it like.
I mean, don't forget that scene in The Punisher. 7 straight minutes of awesome gun face
Right,
as he murders a casino. He knows how to hold a gun.
But they gave Dolph, who's not a small man, like a derringer, and then they're like, hold this, and he's like,
And he's holding it like-
I feel like I'm break this damn thing.
It'd be like a regular compact pistol for people like us, normal-sized humans, but Dolph-sized people.
So
it's
he's got
tiny.
a gun on Brian, but Brian doesn't know that. He's just like literally like, why do you know my name? Turns and immediately shoots Dolph in the head.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're seeing this from like Brian's looking directly at the camera view, so Dolph's behind him. We're like, ooh, Dolph's got a gun on him. He's caught up to him.
Yeah. And then Brian goes to a bar.
Well, he has the like real. Well, he goes to the bus station or wherever it is first and realizes the money's gone, and
Right.
it's like fuck.
Yep.
And then has like another weird dead zone flashback of like when she made him toss him the keys, and then they fucked and all this stuff, and she's like, damn it, she took the key off my key ring, and I don't know how she knew it was a bus station locker key, but
Yeah, or where the locker was,
right
or
or
any
anything
of that.
Yeah. But
Yep.
yeah, she cleaned me out. So yeah, he's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to a bar and drink.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sitting there pounding shots, and then the TV comes on, and it's Vivica Fox like going, "Yep, it's here's whatever everything that happened in this movie. Like notorious, drug guy is dead. Blah blah blah. He was
Some agents went down,
He was
including-
the richest drug lord of all time,
Most
Yeah.
successful.
most successful. And then also we lost Agent Dolph Lundgren. And
we're looking
yeah.
for this man,
We're
Brian Mendelsohn or whoever.
not Barnes.
Yeah.
And then it's like this whole thing where it's like, oh shit, he was an undercover DEA agent, and we get this like whole
Yeah,
quick,
immediate,
like-
and then it begins the whole like
Well-
Wild Things end of the movie
Yeah.
flashback sequence.
But
whatever.
at first, the flashback is like, "Oh no, I'm DEA and I killed my partner. That's terrible. Why did I do that?" And then he just keeps flashing.
and realizes, hey, I had a wife and I fucked this other chick for no reason.
Yep.
yeah, and the wife was the one with the
right tattoo.
the right tattoo, and also like, oh, I'm gonna retire. This is gonna be my last undercover job. I'm gonna get a desk job and be safe, so I can go home to my family.
Yeah.
and-
And they had made a deal with the lawyer's wife, and basically she was going to get the evidence they need to catch Danny Trejo, and then they would get her out, so that's how she knew Brian. But also that lady then secretly was making a deal with Dolph where they were going to steal the money because Dolph... There's literally no motivation here. It's just Dolph suddenly like, well, this is time to get our money, and... So Dolph... Then they finally show what happened before the start of the movie, which is the drug deal or whatever, and Brian's there doing whatever, and Dolph just tells him in his earpiece, your cover's blown, do your thing. So it just starts everyone shooting at each other, and again, the movie does dumb slow-mo bullshit with even worse CG muzzle flashes on the gun.
But I like this one better because almost every guy with a large weapon has his eyes closed, so we get the slow motion freeze frame of guys looking like,
yeah, and I don't like to shoot. It's not even the natural blink you get from firing a gun, whether
No.
you're good or not. It's like it's my eyes are shut before I pull the trigger.
yeah,
thing.
like, oh, it's going to be loud. Yeah. So that happens, and it, it's just Dolph is picking off dudes from afar with his
sniper
rifle.
And
Everyone's dead except Brian, and then he's like, sorry, Brian, and then shoots him in the side, which is, and then we're kind of right back here at the beginning. What doesn't make sense is that Dolph has cleared the scene. He thinks he's murdered everybody. Brian's still alive, but he doesn't know that. But he never goes down there and gets the money. We don't know what Dolph does.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. And then from this point, it's
Or
like,
was this
oh,
whole thing a setup to leave him
Yeah.
partially alive and then
well,
follow from a distance and make sure that everything happens in this way? So that
Maybe Dolph just wanted to run away with Brian. No, probably not, because he shot him in the midsection
yeah.
with the sniper airsoft rifle.
yeah.
Yeah, but they, that because they kind of the way they sequence it, they do the double twist thing where they're like, because it's like, oh, he's the DEA agent, oh no, but then like, it's what doesn't work is because that whole thing where he remembers he's a DEA agent, all that is basically him flashing back to things that happened to him. It stops at the point where it suddenly shows Dolph and her meeting and being like, oh, time to take the money. And
He does flash the things he didn't see.
so they have these other flashbacks that become the other twists, and it's like, well, wait, he would never have known that he got shot by Dolph because he would never have seen that. And yeah, it's
Well, except
it doesn't work.
Well, could figure that out because like everyone else was dead, and he did the like, all right, hands up, I'm the only one left, and he still gets shot. So it's like, yeah, it was Dolph, but I mean, it's still it's a leap.
But they show it from Dolph's perspective.
I know.
And then they flash back to the meetings that they had with the woman, and then it's the last scene of the movie is her just driving off with the money going to Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah. What's weird?
And so Brian's still sitting in a bar getting drunk.
Right. He doesn't go home to his family, which he now remembers.
Yeah.
There's no
we assume he does, but our last shot is like we see the broad driving off 5 miles from Mexico, laughing because she has the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like in our recap, getting through that first hour is like one sentence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because not that much happens because it's all padded by bullshit.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah. It's one of those. It's a very frustrating movie.
Yeah.
Because the action isn't good.
No, the action isn't
good. And it wants to be like this, Western, one guy knows this thing, but then this other guy doesn't know this about that. Like the whole, like, everyone's got a little piece of the information, but if they put it all together, oh my God, they would all realize something. It's...
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
The only thing that I enjoyed about this movie is that so the entire movie is scored like it's a spaghetti western, which doesn't make any sense because there's no reason for it to be.
Except when it gets techno-y.
But yes, during the gunfight at the house, it turns into like this techno, and it has this midsection of just like synthesized fart noises. Like for about 45 seconds, that I just thought was the funniest thing ever. Because
all the whooshes?
No. This was just like 45 seconds of the soundtrack when it was techno-y. It was just like this midsection of just boing. It was just like this ridiculous. I don't know. That was literally the only thing I can point to in this movie. Go, that was all right. And I think Michael Paré he seemed to be the only one who gives a shit in this movie.
And also the DEA evidence sign.
Oh yes, of course. Mm-hmm. The science project sign and the DEA was real good.
Yeah.
There's.
I'm going to mention it and then immediately say I'm not voting for it, but there's almost a Stargravy moment because the cock rockin' power song that comes on while they're fucking in the bed starts off.
Oh yeah.
Like it starts to like describe the scene, but then it veers completely off to just be generic rock. But
yeah.
So no.
Like when the first couple lines, I was like, wait, we about to have a fucking Stargrove?
When you've got amnesia and you're fucking,
but it's the wrong back tattoo.
Yeah.
But no, the song does not go that way.
All the music in this sounds like YouTube's royalty-free library.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
sure.
in this in the entire movie, including there's a dude wearing headphones at one point in the morgue.
The corner dude.
Yeah. It's all like, check out royalty-free kmusic.com.
He's bopping like it's something
is.
better, but it's like,
But it's not.
I actually like his second scene too when he comes in and like bops in and like opens up the cooler where the kid's supposed to be, and he just like does this like what look, and then like is like, man, I knew I should have taken the day off.
Yeah, because this is like dry ice smoke coming out of the thing, and he's just like, did the kid evaporate? Like what?
But anyway, I guess we can rate this.
We should.
But move on.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and go because I know I'm probably going to be very alone in this rating. I'm only going to give it a single bag, and that's because I feel like deep down inside, in the deepest of bones of this movie, there's the potential of something good here. Because unlike so many of these direct-to-video Bulgarian things, at least it's trying something. Like, I mean,
And at least it's shot in Mexico,
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
because the majority of all of the behind the scenes people are
have Spanish
Hispanic.
yeah.
So,
but yeah, I mean, like, it's just it's that it's trying something. Like, so many of these are like, we're in a location, we're in a warehouse, and somebody double crossed somebody, and we're just gonna like hide around the same two corners for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this movie is actually like going to different locations and trying things, not necessarily successfully, but like deep down inside, I feel like if this hadn't been made by assholes, like you could have an okay movie here. Because I like double, triple cross amnesia. I mean, amnesia is like the oldest trope in the book of like, to play on somebody, but it's like it feels like you almost could have a good movie here. It's just not. It's like I can't recommend it, but it's like I don't I don't think I disliked it as much as the rest of you are going to say you did.
Yeah, execution sucks because there's 3 bags for me. And it's because things that don't need to be stretched out are stretched out to the point where they become boring. Like, you don't need slow-mo everything for every action scene. And because action scenes need action in them at some point.
Yeah.
And
the pinnacle of that bullshit is when a character throws a grenade during the final gun battle. Slow-mo, throw the grenade travels a small distance, slow-mo travels some more, lands, slow-mo explosion, guy gets launched into the air, slow-mo, slower slow-mo.
Yep.
We watched this guy fly through the air for like 45 seconds. That's not exciting. Watching a guy get launched through the air real fast because a grenade just went off at his feet, that's cool. Watching it in slow motion is just like,
nah.
who cares?
Nah.
Good stunt from that guy, though.
Sure. It just would have looked cooler if it had happened in real time. So.
Yeah, it's I don't like it. I think it's like Carlos said, there's potential there, but none of it is realized in any way in the final execution of this movie.
So what was your rating?
3
Oh.
bags.
I would like to echo that rating of 3 bags. I will agree, however, with Harlow in that there's something there. Like there's a story there that I would like to see made competently. However, there's not much competency to spare in this movie. The main actors are mostly okay, but like, I'm not the world's best writer. I'm not like great at dialogue, but I think I could accidentally write dialogue better than this movie has. It's real messy. I don't think any people actually talk like they do in this movie. It's very strange, and it's hard for me to describe just what's wrong with it. But aside from that, the editing is messy. It's weird. The slow-mo stuff, like the slow-mo stuff and visual effects are not great, but I don't expect greatness out of this, out of this quality or this level of film. But the editing is just jarring in some ways. Like it's weird. It's like I said, it's almost like the people who edited this movie don't speak English and understand how conversations go in English.
Yeah.
It's weird. Or they just plain didn't get enough takes. Like they just didn't have the money to get enough takes to get natural takes or to fix, the couple times when somebody flubbed a line. Or they didn't get enough coverage or whatever. But there's...
I'll take D, all of the above.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it's just a mess. But there's a story in there that's pretty good. And I'd like to see, I'm sure without too much difficulty, you could basically rewrite this movie and reshoot it and re-release it as something completely else or completely different. Yeah. Give it a different name. Shoot it in Bulgaria in 3 weeks.
No. Yeah.
Well, let somebody who can shoot a movie in Bulgaria do something in the cheap over there.
It does feel like it's missing 2 scenes to get us out of the lawyer's house, get us somewhere else, then do the big shootout. Mm-hmm. Because it feels like it's too rushed, like it got there too soon. It feels like it needed something else to have happened in between somewhere in order to move things to a place where it makes sense to end the movie.
Yeah, when I realized everyone was showing up there, I was like, oh, okay. This is the end of the movie, basically, except for Dolph's not there. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and they spent all this time on this convenience store thing, because we didn't even get into Dolph, yelling at the convenience store girl and having, like putting weird inflections, on the wrong words as he speaks, which is...
More than that, we didn't even... there's so much to be talked about bad performances throughout this, because we didn't even... We commented that, so many people were flat. Some people are just outright bad, the Broad, or whatever her name is.
Yeah, she was trying to do a southern accent, but she's, Swedish or something.
Her accent goes all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
from scene to scene. It is so weird.
And that convenience store girl's accent was bizarre as well.
Plus, there's a couple, speaking line cops and stuff that it's like, and
Oh, man.
Danny Trejo's henchmen that were just like, holy crap, could you just not go down to the local like community theater and find somebody better than this?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like Danny Trejo's like, lackey dude was like, whenever he had a line, it was like, okay, boss, I will do that for you.
Yeah. This movie's real bad. I don't like it. 4 bags is what I'm giving it. Like I said, I can point to Michael Pare and go, he's trying, but I think the thing that makes me hate this movie the most is that if we had not seen Don't Kill It when we saw it and watched this and Altitude, we would say, you know what? We're not watching any more Dolph Lundgren movies past a certain date. Because you look at this, you look at Dolph in this, and you're like, he doesn't fucking give a shit. No one gave him anything to do, and he doesn't give a shit. And that's the biggest crime to me, is that you put Dolph Lundgren in your movie, and he doesn't do shit. You make him to be like this nerdy guy for the sole purpose of having a twist at the end that he's the guy behind it, but still doesn't get to do anything.
I don't think they made him any kind of guy. Like,
He's so nondescript. He could be played by literally anybody. Anybody.
Yeah.
There's no reason for Dolph to be in this. Yeah. And we have started to see so many late era Dolph movies where it's just like, why is Dolph in this? He's not doing anything that's required of anyone of his, and I don't mean like actor stature, but just like his physical presence. Dolph is a mountain of a man. And in this, he looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, this is a 30-minute movie stretched out to 80 minutes. Yep. And even at 80 minutes, you're like, well, at least it's short. No, it's too long. It's too long.
It focuses on the wrong stuff. That's what bad editing does.
Yeah.
It makes a short movie feel way longer than it needs to be.
Yep. It's a short story padded out to 80 minutes somehow. I have no idea how. So,
it'd be a good short. It'd be a good 20 minutes.
Yes. Sure.
Maybe he was at one point in time.
Yep.
But all it'll be is forgotten now.
Oh, he did it! World star!
Yep. That's why you keep coming back for 10 straight years. Jokes like that.
Sick.
But yeah, let's take a break, shall we?
And we'll come back with some exciting news.
We have news.
Yeah.
What we actually have.
We have
emails?
news?
We have news and emails and...
Oh.
News?
Yeah, we have news.
I missed this news part.
No, you were here. We
We
specifically
made a
asked you
decision
about
about this news.
About this news, yeah.
All right.
Breaking news.
Okay, yeah, okay. That one.
What? You just turned around, looked at me, fucking Foster Brooks over here, like,
Foster Brooks.
hey, it's not Ed Ames.
Oh my god, we have so many emails. Nobody has movies to talk about, right? We're just going to do emails?
We should. Here's the thing.
I've only seen one thing, and I really need to talk about
I made
it.
a mistake of watching like 6 things worth talking about, but I can save them for next week.
Okay.
So,
Oh, sorry, I didn't do it right.
What?
Pazzow!
yeah, thank you.
Padam! Pazing!
I've never done that one. No, I was just gonna make a couple suggestions. One, I usually move that window so.
Oh, shit.
What are you doing over there? I usually move the whole OBS window down so you can see the status bar. The green and the.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
So you can watch for problems on the fly.
Okay.
I have the YouTube thing open.
Right.
And then, yeah, you're going to want to probably download all those voicemails. It's not trying to play them like on the fly.
Oh.
Were they all in the? Were there any like attachments to emails? Or are they all on the Garfield?
They're all Garfield phones. Garfield's phone. What?
Why'd you break my thing?
Yeah, there's one from...
Yeah.
Do you want the times to pull them?
Can I...
What?
Mute us on the live stream real quick?
Probably not. Chuck doesn't know how to mute. Yes, Chuck of all people to do this. What?
Ah, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, we weren't unmuted yet?
Now we're
He
unmuted.
remuted us. Remuted us.
Remuted us. Remuted us.
So then the
My
Pope
favorite
says,
gladiator.
Yes. Stand by. All right. So I'm going to pull some voicemails from the thing.
yeah, voicemails. Wow, we got a lot of stuff, man.
All right. So from my vantage point, I see that we have 3 voicemails.
That's correct.
Okay.
First one was on Monday.
Right. All right. So what I'm going to do is, how is Bappy formed? Download.
I think we might the Renee Zellweger one, which I haven't listened to any of them, but save that one for. We'll do that one next week. It's like a topic, and I don't want to waste it
Oh, okay.
because we're gonna kind of like want to keep moving, you know.
What's the topic? Maybe I want to talk about it. Just kidding.
Me. All right. So hello, boys. Renee Zellweger. Second.
Yeah, let's just save that one for next week.
Okay. So
Man, I wanted to hear a voicemail from Renee Zellweger.
Next week.
You can just listen
Oh
to it.
no,
be
you'll
here
be
next
gone
week.
next week.
you can listen to the show next week from your vacay.
No, I can't. I'm going to be where there's no anything.
You're going to take a vape K?
No.
You're
I'm
gonna
going
take
to go.
pre-K?
I'm going to go to the vape cave.
Ooh. All right. So I have them saved in order of date.
Sweet.
So just say play the
Good plan,
first
it's
one.
solid.
Play the second one.
Oh man. Hey, did you know that we were invited to Patreon's March 2019 Creator Success live stream workshops?
Oh, yeah? Where is that?
Did Taryn invite us?
No,
No, it's
Laura.
the other Patreon lady that probably gets paid $400,000 a year to send us one email per quarter.
Laura is thrilled to announce that we have a ton of brand new workshops for March, and I'd like to cordially invite you to attend.
will they open in something that'll play properly, or do they need to play in a specific thing?
I don't know what the default player is.
It's probably Windows Media Player.
Winamp, it whoops the llama's ass.
Got it.
It really whips the llama's ass. God, I miss Winamp.
It's okay. Got it.
So are we gonna talk about any movies or anything?
No.
I've got nothing to talk about, but I mean,
We'll wait.
I
I
can save it for next week.
I think our emails and voicemails are going to take the entire time here.
I will just give some hot exclusive live stream content.
Oh,
then
let's throw it at us.
I watched Russian Doll
Hey, there you
all
go.
in one sitting.
Damn.
Because it was honestly like a book I
Yeah.
couldn't put down. Like
Yeah.
I know a lot of times like you just sit there and binge something because you can binge something, but it was like, oh no, I got to find out what happens next. I gotta see what happens next. I gotta see what happens
you
next.
won't believe what happens next.
I did believe what happened next.
Okay, well,
As long as you believe
there
it.
goes my clickbait article.
Yeah, sorry.
Mm. But man, you watched it all in one sitting, huh?
Yeah, and I was up
Man.
until like 4:30 in the morning
God.
because of it.
That's
It was
like half a Lord of the Rings movie.
yeah.
Or the last Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah, it was. It
Credits.
was. I don't know how many episodes it is. 8, but it's real good. It's real good, y'all. It's a Groundhog Day type thing.
Mhm.
I don't know what we call those movies.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog
Type
Days.
things.
Time loop. Yeah, time loop. It was a time loop media experience.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edges of Tomorrow's, but it did a real good job with that. I thought. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but
Yeah, don't, because I still want to watch it.
Yeah,
Me too.
Natasha Lyonne is really good, and all the supporting cast is really good. It's a lot of fun. There's a particular thing, in Groundhog Day, he wakes up every morning to the alarm clock going off. There's a thing like that it's not the first thing that happens. It's like the third thing that happens on the reset, and I just find it really charming, and I love it, and I can't wait till all of us have seen it so I can talk to you guys about it.
Soon.
It's pretty good.
It's making them half-hour episodes is good.
Yeah.
For me, so we can just get them done. Full hour, my mind drifts.
I gotcha. I find myself doing that more and more occasionally. Like if something kind of has a spot that drags on, I'm so used to just picking up my phone and being like, oh, let me check Twitter real quick. And I find myself doing that when I'm watching stuff at home. And I'll be like picking up my phone and I'm like, oh, I'm watching something, aren't I? Fuck.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I've actively started putting my phone like in the bedroom. Like if we're out in the main room watching a show that I actually want to watch.
That's probably smart.
Yeah, because I need to break that habit because I do that a lot. Where it's like even if the show lags for even half a second, I'm like, let's see what's on the old Instagram there, and it's like, wait, what am I doing? Like, why am I watching this show then? If I'm just gonna sit here and
Yeah,
fucking...
an establishing shot. That's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
Let me see what's up on
and that's
Twitter.
the stuff we bitch about. People
Yeah.
like people have no attention spans. You got to have a trailer before the trailer. What the fuck,
That's
And it's
fucking
like,
stupid.
yeah, it is fucking stupid, but that's where we are now.
I had that thought today.
And I don't like to contribute to that. And I feel like I need to detox from my phone more and more. I've shut off all notifications for like Twitter and Facebook. That's helped. And working like an fucking animal at work that not, basically I check Twitter and everything on the shitter.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Twitter shitter.
Yep.
I wanna work
And
you
Discord's
like
blocked,
an
so I have to actually
animal.
shut off the Wi-Fi at work to be able to check Discord at work. So,
Nice.
yeah. It fucking sucks.
Discord. Wow, that's wild.
I can't believe they blocked that where you work. Like they actually have the force.
They bought from like
Sure, they bought some package.
Barracuda
Yeah.
firewall or something that blocks.
No, I think my boss actually looks at the traffic that goes through the site.
Really?
Yeah.
Good God.
They want to maximize every possible second of everyone being there every single day.
Fucking go to hell.
Yeah, it's brutal, and they want me to enforce it, which is even more brutal. So
You gotta get out of there, dude.
I know.
All right.
It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine. You
sure.
know what? As long as the checks keep clearing, I'll keep going
Oh,
until
okay.
until life gives me
We'll
something
put that
better.
on your gravestone. Hey, the check's clear.
Hey, man. Cash them checks, break them necks.
The check, the check to pay for this tombstone cleared. Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right,
I mean,
too
there are
bad
much
it was
worse
a pizza.
situations, obviously. We went through the whole thing with Jen not having a job for,
Yeah.
almost 6 months. And that was like, all right, I hope she finds something,
No checks are clearing right now.
I'd rather be in the position of, I fucking hate my job, but I'm still getting paid. So,
Yeah.
I got to look at it that way. But
right.
you know what I
Dude.
don't hate?
Second half.
Second half.
Yeah, sick.
All right, welcome back.
Hey,
Hey!
BMFcast. Second
Hey,
half.
hey,
Hey, the happy half.
Yay!
Second half.
The half where all the good things happen.
Celebrate.
Good times.
We've seen movies, but we're not talking about them.
Nope.
Nope.
You know what we are talking about? Us.
Us.
Us, yes. But
We're kind of turning it over to the listeners.
we are in a moment.
Yes.
But since nobody listens to the end of the podcast, at least I don't listen to the end of podcasts, we're going to front load this with a special, exciting, super duper, happy time announcement. Y'all ready?
Breaking news. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Shirts are coming back.
Yay!
Not just in
Yay.
general, like not just
Oh.
like people are
Shirts
wearing
are back.
shirts again. No, we are
Shirts
going to
are a
have
thing.
People aren't wearing enough hats.
correct. So we're going to produce shirts to encourage people to wear hats. No, we are going to do this the classic design. That is the only design that we've ever made
The
available
classic
for sale.
BMFcast
Classic
t-shirt
BMFcast
design is back.
We are not doing shirts in gold. We are going to do them in silver for our 10th anniversary.
Uh-huh. Which is 10.
Yeah, 10 or aluminium.
Looks like silver.
So, but yeah, expect those to be available for Patreon. Expect those to be available for patrons first. We're going to give patrons a week to go ahead and get their orders in, and then after that, we'll open it up to the rest of everybody. So you'll have brand new shirts. If you already have a shirt, you can still buy a shirt. If you want 2 shirts, order 2 shirts.
Yep. Chuck put his on the Instagram, and people were like, hey, I want that shirt.
Yeah, hey, where'd you get that shirt? So it
And
seems
Chuck
like
was
there's
I made it
yeah, I did.
myself.
I stitched it. But yeah, it seems like there's some interest enough to maybe get another run of shirts.
Yep.
So maybe
to definitely
yours,
get another run of shirts.
maybe you wore yours out,
Hopefully not.
wearing it all the time.
These
Mine's held up well.
Yeah.
These are pretty high quality shirts. We have
Yes.
heard from you guys that that they are good shirts.
Mm-hmm.
The ones
Some of us are wearing
Yeah.
them right
Whoa!
Yeah,
Ours
you
are
guys got the gold one. I've got the original. That I think we only have 6
We
in
did not
existence.
sell those to
This was
anyone.
pre-Chuck. I think we made these
Yes,
shirts.
those had the washed look by the time I joined.
Those
the
were
show.
like literally like a please print my JPEG onto a shirt.com.
yeah.
yeah, I think that was exactly the website.
Yeah.
Or they were expensive too.
Yeah, per shirt. I
per
mean,
shirt,
not
yeah.
really.
They
when you
weren't
think
as
about,
bad as you'd think.
Think about it when only ordering 6 to a full color shirt wasn't awful, but the hold up quality on
yeah,
them
but
was
the
not great.
exploding wallet one's still pretty sharp. But I like
Yeah.
the artwork Tobias made for us.
Yep.
It's pretty damn good looking.
He did a great job. So we're gonna do another run of those. Probably another run of 50.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do pre-orders like we did last time. We're just gonna put in an order of shirts and
We'll let patrons know when they're here.
yep.
And you have a week to get in before anybody else.
Right. We're gonna do probably the same size spread we did last time, which
Yeah.
seemed to work out. I will say this: if you have a special size request, like some people need like 4X, I think we got 3X last time. But if you have a special size request, like one that's not usually, ordered, let us know. Send us an email. Say, hey, I need a,
Yeah. If
I
you're a
need a-
tiny person and you need an extra small shirt.
yeah, because they charge us for like extra smalls and anything above 2X, I think. But
If you want one for your newborn,
Right.
well, we're not going to go that far because
Put
that's
a shirt
wholly
on a
different-
baby.
no,
That's a
then
wholly
they'll have to
different-
keep buying bigger and bigger
Yep.
shirts
Yeah.
as the baby grows.
Start your baby now.
BMFcast onesies.
But we're not going to offer onesies just yet.
Oh,
Aw.
I would wear a BMFcast onesie.
I know you would.
but I want the booty. Booty.
You should get the booty.
That's what it is.
Anyway,
Shirts.
silver BMFcast shirts
Soon.
coming soon. The company that we use is really fast at producing and shipping, so I would expect to see something quite soon.
And those shirts are damn comfortable too.
They are next level brand. I think they're 5150s or something like that.
Shit is next level.
I like it.
But they are super comfy if you don't
Nice.
have one.
Yep.
It hides my disgusting body well.
Jeez, Chuck. Your body's not that disgusting.
I could see you.
I didn't mean I'm invisible.
Oh.
I just meant the stuff underneath isn't
Oh.
pouring out of my shirt.
Okay. There we go.
See, I just sold a shirt.
There you go.
Yep.
Remarkable salesmanship.
Love it.
Takes all kinds.
So, you guys want some emails?
We do.
I love emails.
I do believe we sent out a cry for help. I mean, a request for emails.
How about instead? Why don't let's have a meeting to discuss it instead?
Okay.
Okay.
No. No meetings when there should be
Sorry,
emails.
sorry.
You've been at work too
yeah,
long.
too much work. Sorry.
It's a good thing you're
That's
taking a
right.
vacation next
Yeah.
week.
All right. Yes. Be gone, sir.
But no, we asked people to celebrate us. Basically, we're like, what's your favorite stuff that's happened over the last 10 years? Because we don't know.
Yes. Please heap praise upon us.
Honestly,
we
yeah, we kinda need it.
crave.
It wasn't necessarily praise. It was like, what's your favorite moment? Because it all blends into us. Like, everything just becomes one episode. And I think aside from the man's best friend fight that Mackie and I had,
Yeah.
I can't remember a single thing that's ever happened on this show.
Oh, I remember plenty of things.
I mean, I remember
but
stuff that we made videos for, but
I remember things. I just don't remember when they happened.
like, name a joke in our Cross episode.
That's
I'm
the one
pretty
where I
cross
bitched
with
about
that movie.
Well, no, that's the one where I bitched about Banshee, and I said people don't need an Irish superhero; they already have Banshee. And
Yeah, I was
going to
say, doesn't that lead to the whole "We're sorry, Boston" discussion? Isn't that from Cross?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah. It was
where
like,
I
fuck-
shit on Boston.
Yeah, fuck you,
'Cause
Boston.
Fuck
for-
all them.
Fuck you for
and their
having a
spoiled ass
superhero.
fucking
All right,
fan
fine.
bases.
Fine, you guys
Like all
have,
the
you guys have awesome brains.
all your sports, you've
okay.
ruined
Chuck,
everything.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I don't think you
I
remember.
barely
'cause-
remember the
'cause
first half.
You quite literally laugh hysterically all the time, meaning you go into a full delirium and do not remember what's
Yes.
happening.
You're in a fugue state.
It's joy. It's pure joy.
Yeah, but
Yep.
it's also shutting off all the other parts of your brain.
Well,
Yeah.
so be it.
Okay.
I need
happens.
that.
Don't need brains anyway.
Yeah.
Read us an email, Mackie.
I will. First one up is from Crazzy Razzie. Tell 10th anniversary. It says, Dear BMFcast,
Hi.
my name is Liam, and I'm from Australia. His email, like the name of his email
I'm sorry,
address is
I do
Crazy
not
Razzy.
understand it without the proper accent.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah. Please read it in the proper accent.
No.
Oh.
Unless someone else would like to. But my name is Liam, and I'm from Australia.
There you go.
I started listening to your show around 2011, as I was, and still am, a big fan of Chuck's 31 horror movies in 31 days.
Ooh.
I
mean,
believe-
The truth comes out.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I mean, you're allowed to be a fan. It's, some people like that. thing,
Yeah,
but
no, I was
whatever.
booing Chuck.
About 400 people like that thing.
I just don't like days.
I just want to note, it also wants me to add a calendar reminder in 31 days.
Oh, okay. You should do that.
Yeah. Anyway, he says, fan of Chuck's 31 horror movies in 31 days. I believe my first episode was the Weekend at Bernie's 2 episode. So, man, he jumped way back.
Yeah.
Hands down, the funniest moment was you guys arguing about Batman Returns. And my favorite episode was the Christmas with the Cranks one. Hearing Chuck get so pissed off at that movie was hysterical.
I hate that fucking movie.
Happy 10th anniversary to you and the show. Here's to another 10 years. Thank you from the land down under.
Thank you from the land down under.
Oh.
Sorry, I mean, you can't
Sorry.
put phrases like that together and
I know.
not expect me to hear it like that.
No.
We appreciate you, Crazy Razzy.
Liam.
Thank you, Liam.
Or is it Liam?
Also,
Liam.
I would like to personally apologize for our horrible Australian accents.
I would like to personally not apologize for our Australian accents because they're hilarious.
They're great.
They are. Like, people love them.
They're very good. They're very good New Zealand accents,
Yes,
but they're terrible Australian accents.
That's correct.
I'm not
It's
apologizing.
pronounced Ixens.
Ixens.
Ixen.
Ixens.
Speaking of Ixens, next one up is from Moonpier.
Oh, hey.
Your friend of mine says, congrats. Hey, guys, it's your friendly neighborhood street urchin here. No longer living inside a box in the UK, but rather a bus shelter in New York.
Yay.
All right.
I managed to
Upgrade.
steal some fool's phone to get this sent off and wanted to wish you a happy anniversary. One thing I've always been happy with from you guys is the random recommendations from all of you. In Your Eyes from Harlow, Upgrade from all of you, and various laughs and japes along the way, including your top-notch Patreon content. I love you guys. Have a great episode. Much love, your friendly neighborhood street urchin, Moonpier.
Moonbeer.
Moonpier.
I would have liked to have heard the voicemail version of that. His voice is very relaxing.
It is.
Yeah, he is. He is.
Hello, gentlemen. It's Moonpier.
No, that's like us doing Moonpier.
I know. I
Oh,
can't.
okay.
I can. I have to.
Oh, okay.
But japes. He used
Japes.
the word japes.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, sick japes.
So, speaking of accents,
Uh-huh.
let's run a voicemail from a guest on the show.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Hey, BMFcast. It's Tobias. I've been on the show a few times, and I've been friends with you all for, I guess, more than 10 years now. I just wanted to give you my top 3 moments of the BMFcast. So, in descending order, first, I would say my top moment was the April Fool's episode, which I go back and listen to occasionally. It was excellent. Top moment number 2 is Chuck joining the crew, which I think was an awesome addition. I could have gone top 1 with this, but I didn't want Chuck to feel too good about himself.
That's good.
And then number 3 was the first time I was on the show with you guys. We ate at Captain D's and changed my life. That's top 3 show moment and also one of the top 5 moments in my life. Keep doing what you're doing, and here's to another 10 years. Thanks, guys.
Captain Disease.
Captain Disease. Oh, man.
Ah.
Didn't we all, almost die that night?
I think we all just wanted to.
Not me. I grew up eating Captain D's, so I am immune to Captain D's.
In case you don't know, if you're from some part of the world that doesn't have Captain D's, it's
Like Long John Silver's.
It's
I-
fast food seafood.
it's fast food fried fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everything is deep fried. Like there's nothing on the menu that isn't deep fried,
Yep.
except for maybe coleslaw.
They have broccoli.
Do they?
They do, and green beans.
I had
Okay.
no idea.
Uh-huh. And mashed potatoes. Yeah. I've eaten Captain D's a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, just imagine what like fast food filleted cod would taste like, and that's pretty much it.
I have a favorite Tobias memory.
Oh, do you?
What's that?
The one time he was on the show and the first half didn't record,
Oh, it's got,
or the second
Second
one,
half. It was the
second
second
half
half.
didn't
Yes.
record, and we had to do it all again.
It sucked the life out of him.
And
I've never
man-
seen a man more drained than Tobias was when it dawned on him that we were going to do the second half all over again.
He was so enthusiastic talking about some like Tom Arnold movie in a mall thing that he watched or something. And then he had to tell us about it again, and it was just the most mundane sounding, just like, yeah, I don't know, I watched this movie. And it was just like, oh man, I feel so bad for him.
I mean, that's why I feel like our very first episode, we were probably way better in the first recording of the first Wicker Man episode. We'll never know.
Probably not.
Yeah.
It was still like 2 hours long anyway, but I just feel like when we finally got into like doing that actual episode, we had used all the jokes already, and we were like, do I re-say the joke? And everyone's like, haha, that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, we had like no rapport or anything either, too. I don't know. I just want to nuke that
And
first
we-
episode off the internet.
We
I
still
know.
liked each other back then.
I wasn't here, so I didn't like any of you.
Well, I'm just saying we
Well, at
didn't.
that point, we all worked together too. Like,
Yeah, we
BJ's desk was right outside my office.
Yeah, we just weren't like, having japes off of each other's
Yeah.
quips, if you will.
I'll put that on a bumper sticker. I also want to say that as
Make
recently
American japes again.
as the tank episode of BMFcast Extra, we had a power hit about 40 minutes into that episode, wiped out the episode, and then he and I just kind of looked at each other and were like, all right, let's go again. And it feels real dumb looking at each other trying to spontaneously come up with the same asides and everything.
Or new jokes even, because you're kind of spent.
Well, on one hand, you're like, I was making some good points. I would like to repeat those points. But then, like, he's already heard it, and he knows it's coming, and it's like he's going to think it's stupid of me to say it again.
I don't think that. Just
No, I
FYI
know,
in the
but
future.
it's the worst feeling
That
to have to
reminds-
go back and do
reminds
that.
me we need to get a fucking UPS under there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Thanks, patrons.
Yeah, that was annoying.
Yes. It's another piece of equipment that we will be able to get. Thank you.
Oh man, it's the worst.
Well, I figured it would like write to the card what it had done, but I guess when you hit stop, it like finalizes that file, and so it was just
It's like yanking the
yeah,
USB
yeah,
out.
It was like nope.
No, just like, there's nothing here.
I'm honestly amazed with 457 episodes of this, like a dozen spoil casts, how many extras we've done, like everything that we haven't destroyed more episodes,
We've lost what, 4?
if that.
Yeah, I mean, I fucked up the entire Vanilla Ice episode forever. Cool as Ice episode.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, that.
But that one still
someone was like,
exists.
use Levelator.
It
on
exists,
and-
but it's like I did it to the original files, and it was like, yep, we're fucked.
well,
There's
wasn't
no
it because
one
we were using condenser mics at the time, and it picks up all the extra room
yeah,
noise,
we
so
didn't
it
realize
just
how
echoed
much
everything.
it was just like all the mics were bleeding over.
Yeah, those were the days.
We were too
Yeah.
loud.
Was it
So-
Action Jackson that we had to use the YouTube stream?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I guess
guess
that's
that-
why we haven't lost many since, because it's like we always have the YouTube as a backup at least.
Yeah.
But
And the quality of YouTube has gotten better to where it's a pretty good audio file.
Yeah.
So
We're streaming in a high enough quality, and what comes off the board into the PC is a high enough quality that it's all right.
well, yeah, and we used to edit a lot of stuff out too. Like we would trim shows down and take tangents out that sucked, and now we're just like, nah.
Now that
Just
Chuck's
leave
doing it,
nah, just edit out the pauses and the sneezes.
thanks for editing out my sneezes.
You're welcome.
I am the sneeziest of us.
We noticed.
I'm sorry. I can't help it.
It's fine.
It's Craft JB. It's the BJ.
All right,
It's the sneeziest.
let's get back on track.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Next one up, Troy from Austin, who tells his email, 10 years strong and growing.
Oh boy.
Remember those commercials?
I do.
I do,
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
Yeah,
Flintstones
they were
vitamins?
commercials.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, they
was
were-
Flintstones.
They were real funny.
vitamins. Yeah. Troy says, "Hey, BMFcast.
Hey.
Troy from Austin here, formerly Troy from Connecticut.
Wow.
He moved across the country.
Yeah.
He's in a much better place.
Okay.
Austin's better than Connecticut because Connecticut's close to Boston, and fuck Boston. Congrats on 10 years of podding, casting, bamfing, whatever the cool kids are calling it. You've been hands down my favorite podcast since 2011. It feels like only yesterday I listened to my first episode, Frankenhooker, a movie I'd originally seen with my uncle, because what could go wrong letting a 6-year-old watch a movie about a reanimated corpse of a sex worker? It wasn't long before I dug into the back catalog, hitting such favorites as Torque, Cool as Ice, Fast Five, Hell Comes to Frogtown, and possibly my favorite episode, The Wraith. It was the pure joy you all let out when talking about the garage explosion that let me know your collective tastes were right up my alley. Explosions, ridiculous fights, implausible but damn entertaining moments. Those are what make a good bad movie. Since then, I've listened to you every week, all through my first grown-up job and subsequent layoff, hiking trips, grad school, breakups, family deaths, cross-country moves, and everything in between. I may just be a stranger you guys occasionally hear from on the internet, but for me and others like me, you guys have been a constant source of camaraderie. Every week, I get to hear 4 guys in Florida share their joy of bad movies. I even started a bad movie night group with my friends here in Austin. They're watching Torque for the first time on our next get-together. Oh, those lucky people. Long story, less long. I just wanted to say thanks. The BMFcast has been there for me during some of the lowest lows and highest highs of my life. I've been able to relive some of my favorite childhood memories and make new ones with people who share my appreciation for movies that usually ran at 1 a.m. on Saturday nights. It's been a pretty fun ride. Here's to 10 more years and a lot more jocks. Crash and burn, Troy from Austin, out. Voice to text by my iced tea sounding Teddy Ruxpin Bear.
Wow. Thank you.
I would love to have a Teddy Ruxpin Bear that converted everything into iced tea.
Yep.
Well, you can just play an iced tea tape in
I mean,
Teddy
yeah, of
Ruxpin,
course, yeah.
and
Wouldn't
he will
that
sing.
just be T. Ruxpin?
Yeah, T. Ruxpin.
The T stands for
Teddy.
Ruxpin.
T stands for Teddy this whole time.
Iced Teddy.
Man.
You know,
I'm glad we pivoted into jokes because I was getting a little something in my head there.
Yeah,
for a second.
I wasn't here when the show started. I didn't start the show with you guys. I came in late. You'd already established what the show is, but that email is how I hope people feel about what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I hope people take away from this. You know, whenever we finally wrap it up, I hope that people are like, you know what?
Oh, you mean like in 30 minutes?
Yeah. They're like, you know what? You guys were there to fill the dead air of menial tasks, and you guys, are talking in a positive way about things that, I'm a fan of, that I grew up with, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's just a great email.
Yeah.
In good times and bad times, we'll be on your side forevermore.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, it does, like, when you listen to shows enough, you feel this friendship with these people.
Sure.
And stuff like Twitter helps as well, because it's like, yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, Troy posted something. Like you start to recognize those people, and they don't just become, oh, that person who added me a while back. You're like, oh, that's okay, yeah.
Yes.
And you kind of have these conversations, you learn a little bit about them. And obviously it's a little different for us because it's a one-sided thing, almost, because it's like we pour so much into this that people know all sorts of stuff that we're like, we forgot we even talked about,
Yeah,
Right. Yes.
I might have talked about, like, my aunt dying from Alzheimer's, last year or something, and, hadn't thought about it for a while. And, somebody would bring something like that up and be like, oh, yeah, I forgot I talked about that. Because early on it was a little difficult because I'd be like, how the fuck do they know about that? But it's like, because we don't, like we were saying, we don't remember shit.
Well, I think also early on, I mean, maybe it was due to the fact that we all worked at the same place, but I think early on we all, it was at that point in the internet where things were dividing into, like, don't talk about your own shit online because, like, your employer might fire you, or they might make some social media policy or all this stuff. So, like, we were real hesitant to give out details of any kind for a while. And I feel like we just sort of naturally opened up as we realized that was 11 o'clock news bullshit. That, like,
I haven't I haven't really ever cared. You two have always kind of tried to play it close to the vest about your identities.
I mean, somewhat, but I mean, I think it's just like we all kind of hit a point where it was like, I don't care. Like, if place is going to fire me, then fuck them. I didn't want to work there anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, I know other shows that have had to shut down because their social media policies at whatever company they work for are fucking draconian. And they're like, this is fun, but my job pays the bills.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but I don't know. I was a little weird about it at first, but then it was like when I started accepting Facebook friend requests from people, I was like, all right, fine.
Yeah, they're gonna
I guess
see
this is
everything,
we're done here. Like, they know who I am.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
And
it's actually funny because I feel like in a strange way, by opening it up on here, it's helped me taper other things. Like, like maybe not putting everything. Like, I don't really do Facebook. I never really did. But I mean, I feel like I would have started pulling back from Facebook, going like, why the fuck? Not everybody needs to know that. I feel like it's just like we would have hit some sort of happy medium where it's like, let's be a little more expressive on the show and maybe not put like, oh, I took a shit on Facebook. Like, nobody needs to know that. I mean, like,
We don't need to know it here either.
well,
I mean, I'm saying, like, I mean,
social media has also moved past that point.
That's what I mean.
It kind of
It's
has
microblogging or whatever.
Yeah, because it used to be about, oh my god, this sandwich, and now it's like, oh my god, I don't have a house.
Yeah, Yeah,
Now social media
please
is only
go
sad.
fund me.
It's definitely social media's fault.
I am very thankful for the social media interactions with
yeah.
all the folks like all the folks from the show that I interact with on social media are super chill and awesome, and like every once in a while like somebody slides into my DMs and we have a 4-day conversation about some cool shit.
We've got how many people in the Discord now? Like a large
Almost
group
100.
of people
Yeah.
with
Some.
varying tastes about all different kinds
Yeah.
of topics, and
It's
they're
great.
all just
Yeah.
hanging out and chatting.
And like that thing, like we get to sit and talk with each other all day and just make fucking jokes and share dumb memes and talk shit about politics and
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like I've filtered most of my social media down to like that and a extremely curated Reddit.
Yeah.
You know, like that's literally what I do now. It's like, okay, I want random jokes that I've never seen before. I'll go here, and when I want to talk to people and get that social feeling, I go to the Discord. And it's like I know I'm generally talking with like-minded people, so it's what I need.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good time. I really appreciate all of that. And y'all are super supportive about stuff. Like, you know, I know like anytime I post or one of us posts about something that's like shitty, like we get a lot of people saying nice things, and so that's good. I for one need that positive reinforcement sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's just nice to know people are out there and give a shit, and we
And-
give a shit about you.
When we do get a hater who swears us off forever, they do it in such a way that provides us with a joke that we can repeat for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up, you son of Hillary.
Man,
Oh, boy.
Negative iTunes reviews.
Oh,
are
that's
just-
the best.
so good.
Yeah, that was someone's like really bright idea. Like, hey, what if we put this thing out there and it's just anyone can cast a stone into the water and the wake will last forever. And you can't fucking do anything about it.
Yeah, thanks.
You can't respond. You can't do anything. It's just there.
I feel like we've responded to the Sons
Sure,
of Hillary
on here,
comment
yes.
plenty.
Yeah. I wish, I wish there were a way people could join us for like our dinner bullshit before the show.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of why I was like, we should do bonus BS. We should record us in the car and when we're eating and all that. But it just became, it didn't work, unfortunately, because like the sound and like you talk differently when there's a microphone there, and you know that it's just I felt the need to like fill time always, and I'm like, no, sometimes we just need to chill and eat. But there's also like I just love thinking about like dinners that we've had with people when we've done events and stuff, where it's just like just hanging out with people like and getting people to enjoy that kind of us just throwing dumb shit back and forth all over the place,
Or
like,
sometimes
even
making
more than
people
we do
extremely
here.
uncomfortable. We've done that too.
Yes.
Because sometimes you who laughs at everything suddenly gets really pious sometimes when we get in certain situations where you're like, I'm above all of this.
We get a toenail out in public sometimes, and Chuck's like, "Don't make a joke about that."
I am sensitive to public spaces and our bullshit sometimes. Only sometimes.
Eh.
We have had some incredible conversations with folks in real life.
Yeah, it's just a thing. Like I wish people could share that with us.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's the kind of thing that I wish we could do like a live show with like patter and break conversation and stuff like that. It's just that our audience is so diverse and all over the country that there's just no way to make that
World.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying like if we were like, hey, let's go do a live show, we wouldn't get the people that we have listen to the show all together.
You have to be in a metropolitan area where at least like a decent chunk of your audience is from.
Yeah.
We're in
and
a
your town
city.
has to give a shit
We're in a
about you.
city, but barely.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there are only like 4 other people that listen to the podcast where we are.
Yeah.
And most of them are our friends.
Oh, you have some of those?
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Score.
Yeah. I do pretty well outside of this.
So, real quick, I have to say that the last like big extended family gathering we had, or Christmas time, was either walking outside or walking in, and one of the people on my other side of the family was walking the opposite direction I was walking. We crossed paths, and he was just like, "Hey, listen to your podcast,"
Oh God.
and I'm like, "That was like this wall had been brought." I'm like. 1, why? 2, how do you know about it? 3, what are you doing? 4, why? And it was just like, so you guys talk about movies, huh? I'm like, Yeah, we do. And he's like, well, it was real interesting. I'm like, okay.
Oh, interesting. Interesting is the worst thing you
Yeah.
can hear.
I-
It's the worst.
I was like, you don't have to listen to it. That's what I tell
Did you
people.
see him like?
It was kind of like, you have no obligation. No one's asking you to
Yeah.
listen to it. There's no family obligation. Like, my wife doesn't listen to it. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Part of me like I don't. Okay, so I don't mind like if you listen to the podcast and then I meet you.
Yeah.
Because that means like you're already into it. I don't
Yes.
have to I don't have to try to sell it
Exactly.
to you.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you that I do it and then you go find it and then we never talk about it again and I never see you again.
Right.
I forgot where I was. Oh, my brother-in-law listens to the podcast.
Oh.
He likes it. I don't know how, but
Because we're fucking awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's just awkward that somebody that I
I know.
was like, hey,
I've had that multiple times where someone's just like randomly listen to your podcast. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Dear God, no.
it's just like, oh, I don't want to face anybody who listens to it, and I hate telling people in person about it. Like, I'm the worst proselytizer.
Oh yeah,
I just
absolutely.
like
I like anti-sell people on
Well-
it. Like, here's what I've learned works the best. When someone kind of like in a roundabout way hears that I do a podcast and they come up and ask me about it, I will just say like, yeah, it's about bad movies, but it's a little esoteric, and I'm not sure it's going to be for you. And I figure 9 times out of 10 that means they have to go look up the word esoteric, and it'll distract them from even looking up our podcast.
Well, me, it's whenever someone finds out, they're like, "Oh man, you got to watch Zardos," or it's like, "Oh no," I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay," it's tough because I think a lot of times people that when I'm like, "Yeah, we watch B movies and bad movies," and they're like, "Oh, bad movies,
Sharknado,
Oh.
right?
Yeah," and it's kind of like it's like it's tough to explain like what we do.
Yeah.
It's like we've almost pushed ourselves so far into a niche of like we watch the bad stuff, but we want to find what's good in it. We don't want to watch it and be like, yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? And it's kind of like, yes, when we don't like something, we'll fucking go off on it.
Zardos is fine. I mean, it's more 9 times out of 10 I get like Sharknado. I'm like, oh fuck, I just no.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just an example of one I think that comes up the most.
Kung Fury also.
Yeah.
All the time. I'm like, it's not a movie. It's like 30 minutes long. Like,
Yeah, and the funny thing is, like, Kung Fury now, like, I can't properly articulate why I don't like Kung Fury to people who, like, just don't listen to the show because I come off sounding like a pretentious prick.
Oh yeah.
Like I used to be before the show started.
You sound
because-
like Professor fucking hipster of bad moviedom when you try to explain to somebody
Yeah,
why you don't want to watch
yeah.
Sharknado.
like, no, your reach has to exceed your grasp. You can't be trying to be bad. You have to be aiming for good and just missing and then like trying to grab the ledge and just falling and landing on your face. Like that's how it has to work. It can't be like, I'm going to jump down there, look,
yeah, you have to be like, it has to be a natural fail video. You can't go like, hey guys, watch this fail. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yes.
Like that's the most concise way I can say it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thanks. We're glad, like,
No,
we're glad we can consider ourselves internet friends. If
Yes.
that.
And I think BJ brought it back around to sincerity at some point during our jokes, but agreed. Like that was a nice email.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
We got plenty more of those.
Okay.
Let's go.
Next one up from Jens.
hi. No,
Jens, who has shared multiple meals with us
he has.
Has he?
when we've been in Atlanta.
Has
he
he
has
though?
not shared a
Well, no,
single
he
meal
didn't.
with us.
No.
We kept our
Not a molecule.
okay, fine.
Well, no,
we
no,
kept
I'll
our
take that.
hands away from the food when he was reaching. For
Oh, I will
it,
say
but-
the last was it the last time that we shared
Yeah.
a meal with Jens?
Huh?
Y'all went to the bistro.
Yeah,
true.
we went
That's
to the
true.
we went to the Alsatian place.
That
and,
one
and
we savored a little.
we did. So Jens is capable of savoring a meal. I have seen it.
Yeah.
And we did
all
share.
I know is the first time we ate with him, he was like a starved prisoner. He was like, "Oh my god, food," and
Yeah.
it was just gone. I was like,
still
"Slow
is.
down, man. You scared me."
I think when you said we shared a meal, I was thinking of sort of like when something travels light speed, like it's here and here at the same time, and it's just like Yin sits down and there's food and then it's gone, and I
Yeah,
was like,
so there's
did we
string
share a
theory
meal?
involved.
I don't know.
But no, but
Jens eats fast. In case you didn't.
That's the backstory.
but no, we have
Broken bread.
Yes,
many
yes,
times.
broken
with
bread
Jens.
with Jens.
And then the bread
Quite a
was
few
gone.
times. and he said, "Here's to 10 years. Sorry for the last minute email. I was utterly unprepared for your 10th anniversary, even though I've been following y'all for most of it. There are too many favorites to mention from the mainline show. Almost all of them bags, because that's the kind of content I naturally gravitate towards. But I think my favorite BMFcast thing of them all won't surprise you one bit. That's right, it's your Torchwood coverage. From everyone's utter disbelief at Owen's shenanigans, to Mackie's Gwen impressions, to everyone's puppy dog affection for Reese. All of them leading to
Sweet
increasingly deep and insane in-jokes as the series goes on. It has been pure, unadulterated joy from the start. I admit with shame that I will sometimes fall behind on your regular show, and even regular Doctor Who you, but every time a Torchwood episode comes out, it becomes my highest priority content consumption item. So thank you for all the content creation, and I hereby toast another 10 years of delicious content. Peace, love, and all that jazz, listener Jens, sent from my trans-dimensional ghost machine. And he said content multiple times because I was ranting about that on Twitter the other day.
Content.
That when we decided anything we like is labeled content, we destroyed all
Delicious
value
content.
it had whatsoever.
Sweet, delicious content.
Yeah.
I don't know. Makes
Yeah.
me content.
But yes, the,
Homonyms.
he must be enjoying this season of Torchwood, where because of my schedule, it's been like, oh, we can only do one episode this week.
Stretches the Torchwood.
Yeah,
Like a good
so he's
stretch
gotten
would.
a lot of Torchwood, and man, yeah.
Ah, sweet, big, beautiful Reese.
Oh, Reese,
Reese.
He's, what the world's most beautiful man,
Oh,
I
Reese.
have no idea what's
He's
going
a-
on here.
He's a saint. He's
He'll-
an angel and a saint.
He'll never leave us.
I want to say thank you, Jens, for the kind words. Also, I'm just going to go ahead and plug Jens's podcast, The Goldsmith Odyssey. It is a extremely well-researched, thought-out, and produced journey through the musical career of Jerry Goldsmith. And Jens and his co-hosts Clark and Yavar, I believe, are incredibly thoughtful and smart about that, about soundtracks and music in general, and they have some really good guests that do some that they've gotten some really great interviews out of, and so just go listen to it. It's called the Goldsmith Odyssey.
Yeah, plus proof that Jens doesn't sound anything like our impression.
Yeah,
of him.
no, he does not. He sounds like a normal human being. I just make him sound like this because it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, well, I've told him multiple times. Whenever they get to Alien, they're going in chronological order. They're still in like the early '60s, I believe. They
Yeah,
might not have even made it out of
They're
the
doing
late
like TV
50s.
episodes and stuff.
Yeah, but I was like, when you get to Alien, I know it's going to be a 4-hour episode, but I'm going to be on that fucking episode.
Good.
Because we have to talk about both soundtracks for Alien.
Yes.
I didn't know there was more than one soundtrack. Apparently, I'm not a super fan.
He did the original. He did an original score, and they basically
Scrubbed
said,
it.
"Nah,
They said, get the fuck out.
yeah."
Oh. Okay.
The Jens and I will end up debating which one's better. He thinks the original is. I think the one that ran with the actual movie is much better. It's more sparse. It's more creepy. And the original was like basically designed to be like a counterpoint to the movie almost. Like, here's all this horrible stuff, and then here's this beautiful music over it. Whereas, no, they're like, no, that doesn't work. Which that is what I feel. But
All right.
anyway, yeah.
Save it for the.
Yeah,
some
in
years
like
of-
4 years when they get there.
Yeah.
But I was like, I need to be on it. Damn it. Anyway, thanks, Jens.
Need to be on it.
Other and Gremlins, of course.
Yes.
Got to get that Gremlins rag going.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yep. Next one up, Evan.
Hey,
a
Evan.
lot of regular live stream people here. I
Sure.
like it. Evan, the best of 10 years. Hey, crew. Finding my favorite BMF moment is hard. There are just so many great memories. Harlow's hatred for buddies. Chuck's love for buddies. Mackie's hatred for Queen. BJ's love for artillery and Sandra Bullock. I'd have to say a favorite moment of mine would,
great
would
tastes
be
that taste great
when
together.
you guys had a big Pat Buttram sound off. Real rewind material. Stay awesome, guys. Evan. I
Well,
I don't remember what launched that, but we have since turned it into our voice for the chicken tenders
All right,
place in,
I'm s-
in Orlando.
I hate to say it, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I'm pretty sure it was the show or the movie White Fury.
Oh, yeah.
Because we pretty sure that's what set it off.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we said that dumb title
And
9
we usually,
million
yeah,
times.
well, it's always before the live stream starts. We end up saying that somehow.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
oh man, we get some
We
jokes
probably-
off before the live stream
yeah,
starts.
like if he could edit the footage down of just like if that's on the recording of just us going White Fury.
Like
Oh,
40
sure.
hours
Yeah,
long.
we don't have enough stuff on the internet that's
We'd do like a
damning to the rest of our
supercut- A
lives.
supercut of us just saying White Fury.
Sure, that would play well in today's environment.
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, it would, and that's what's really disgusting.
that's
yeah.
actually that's But thanks.
Join us on our next podcast, the Alt-Right Movie Night.
No.
We give
It's a
this
subversive
we
thing.
give
We're
this
gonna-
5 Obamas. It's the worst.
5 Bummers.
5 Husseins. Because no one sane would watch this.
Damn old Dumbo.
God damn it.
Oh, I forgot about that one. It's so good. So dumb. Anyway.
I love how early on we had like no political content whatsoever.
There wasn't any reason to. Everything was
I
fine.
know, I know.
They were just like, yeah, this world's
Yeah,
happening.
just think, Obamacare hadn't even happened when we started this,
Yeah.
and now look where we are.
Yeah.
Obama had to have it. No, he had. Yeah. I had to think about
it
years.
just happened.
It just happened.
Just became a thing.
He had just become a thing.
All right,
Obama's a thing.
he's not Robin. Stop.
I didn't do the Sean Connery voice. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Next one up is from Jason from Dallas. It says 10 years. That's how the title was written.
Yeah.
There was an exclamation point.
Okay. Well, good.
10 years.
All right.
Jason. Sorry. 10 years. Chuck,
Stop saying the name of the email.
I'm trying to read the entire email. I have to start. I can't finish if I don't start.
Well, that's true.
Sorry. Jason from Dallas here. Over all the years listening, I wanted to say I'm thankful for a few things. First, theme months. April, August, and of course, Blaxploitation, just to name a few. 2, teaching me the phrase, Chuck fine. And of course, I love/hate you for the 1990 theme year.
Yeah.
There are too many shows out there that go in with a negative outlook or the intention to bag on a movie, and I appreciate that you approach any movie you watch with the intent to try and have fun with it. It's been a great ride. Crash and Bird, Jason from Dallas. Thanks, Jason. 1990 year,
God, we spent a whole year on a theme.
and see,
And didn't tell anybody about it until like 4 months into it.
3/4
Some-
of us
Especially
knew.
me.
Some rando
Me,
on
you
Twitter
didn't tell me.
figured it out in like July, and that guy never wrote us again.
Yeah.
He's like, "You guys doing all 1990 this year?" And we're like, "Yeah, somebody
Yes.
nailed it."
Yes.
And then like,
And then we told BJ.
"Yeah,
They're like, all right, secret's out. It was a social experiment.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was great.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
I just
Still bitter. about
honestly."
a little bit, yeah.
it. A little bitter.
Honestly, I think that's like the advantage of our audience being like small enough that it's not a huge thing where people would like fucking revolt if we were suddenly, if we had like, millions of listeners and they were like, all right, guess what? 1990 for an entire year.
Yeah.
People would be like, fuck all of you.
Yeah.
Fuck,
This is
what
the
is
worst.
wrong with you?
Oh, theme months would make people mad if we had a big enough audience. Like 4 or 5 movies in a row on the same thing. Fuck.
don't know,
Unsubscribe
like,
yeah,
for a month.
but
None of our listenners complain about it.
no, I know.
No,
Like-
but that's
that I know of.
the value of having the size of our show, like of our listenership,
Yeah.
is like they're willing to go there.
I would like to think that that people that are willing to listen to us, and we've probably reached all of them by now, are just those kinds of people that like, oh yeah, they want to do a theme month. That's dumb. Fucking go with it. And we still get theme month suggestions all the time. Like in the Discord, we'll come up with stupid theme months.
March to Costco's.
Yeah, Vapril. Well, that was mine, but
That's all
You just
John.
wanted
That's all
to
John Cusack.
yeah, it's all John Cusack vape movies. Yeah.
You don't want that.
No, of course not. But I didn't want a year of 1990 movies either. But here we are.
I
I'll,
love that we did that. Honestly, because we would not have gotten to shit like Dragon Fight.
yeah.
We would have never ever like found the time for Dragon Fight.
We did a deep dive on the shitty movies of 1990, and there were some real gems in there.
Yeah.
Stuff we would have
Yeah.
never, ever, ever watched.
I joke, but I'm glad we did it because it's super dumb and
Yep.
like
That's what we're about.
nobody like. There's not going to be another podcast that does
But
that.
the thing about it is that everything we watched was so varied. It's not like it was just not everything felt like a 1990 movie.
Yeah.
And there were so many different genres and stuff that we were watching. It wouldn't have been obvious to anybody because everything was so different.
Well, other than
wait.
we kept changing our theme month.
Yeah, I was going to say.
week.
Oh, right.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah,
we
we
do?
did do
we
that.
did April, but it was
It
like
was just one movie.
We did April O'Neil.
Right.
We did Kid and Playpril.
Yeah.
yeah. That was that
Yes.
was like that. I think that was like
April, we changed the theme
that's what it was. Like by the time we got to April, we were like, how is nobody figuring out that every movie's from 1990? And they were like, let's fuck with them and say we're doing a theme month, and it changes every week, and then they'll have to reevaluate what it is we're doing, and maybe they'll realize they're all from 1990.
Yep. We thought we were leaving breadcrumbs,
Yeah.
but we were just leaving dirt.
Yeah.
You know?
Bags, perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, we just had a goose follower. So,
Yeah.
oh, nice breadcrumb.
And by the way, Jason, thank you very much for the beer. Jason sent me a beer, and it was amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a special release beer. None of you guys like beer.
The
So.
fuck? Where's my beer?
Oh, yeah.
I like beer.
Chuck's
I
the
like
only-
beer.
You don't like
would
beer
drink
like I
it
like
right
beer.
Chuck's the only one that doesn't like beer.
I like beer.
This is a tit for tat. I'm sending him a special beer. From
Okay.
Oh.
Oh,
one
okay.
of our
You're sending
breweries
him
here.
But if everyone
Tit?
wants to send me bourbon, I'll gladly drink that.
Yeah, send us bourbon.
Sure.
Send us anything. I mean, well, no, not anything. Just send us.
Honestly, like, if you want to send us stuff, let us know that you want to send us stuff because we can receive stuff.
Truer words
That-
have never been
That's
spoken.
called consent.
Oh, man. All right. Next up is Josh, a.k.a. Late Elf.
Oh.
It says 10th anniversary. Hail BMFcasters. It's the
Hail.
aluminum
Hi.
anniversary, whatever the hell that is. So I hope you bought yourself something nice and shiny. You deserve it. You guys have seen and done it all, from Deathstalker to Battle of the Rock Lords to, hey, did those newsies ever get out of the jungle? Anyway, please continue to do what you love and provide us with inappropriate laughter we might have to explain later. Thank you for 10 years of great content, in quotation marks. P.S. The Appleseed episode still rules. D-Tank!
All
Late
I
Elf.
remember about Appleseed. D-Tank.
The Apple
Yeah.
episode also rules. That's where I thought he was going with that.
Yes.
I still need
About
to watch
launch
that.
into song.
You should really watch
Well,
the
you
Apple.
can't get the apple without the apple seed.
Yes, it's true.
It's true. We
Which
did
came
do that.
first, the apple or the apple seed?
apple seed.
Slappy apple.
It's the Apple.
We did have apple seed like a long time ago. The apple wasn't
That
long
was
ago.
the actual anime.
Yeah. So long ago that we for years have been like, no, we're not doing anime again. We might watch good anime movies for the second half, but
Yeah.
we're not going to
No.
try to find bad anime movies because it's just it's an oxymoron.
Yep. So, you want to do another voicemail?
Yes, I do.
This one, Taylor from Seattle.
Okay.
Hey, Taylor from Seattle here. 10 goddamn years. Holy shit. And I realize I've been listening for 7. That's nearly a quarter of my life. Holy shit. Well, glad to have y'all in it. Keep up the good work. Here's to another 10 years, and can't wait for Mackey's wife's podcast once the Great Florida Cataclysm hits. It's unfortunate we're in this universe and not the Chuck 2 universe, but it is what it is. Crash and burn. Taylor out.
Jen will never have a podcast.
No?
She hates the sound of her own voice. That's why she refused to ever.
What you
like,
don't-
I was going to say, she was on this
I
podcast
was-
numerous times.
I was going to
Yeah.
say what you don't realize is how many episodes she was a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Early on, she was over all the time.
Yeah.
We didn't we actually used to give ratings from Silent Jen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
she
and
was,
the
she was
Asian
our producer.
correspondent.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was
And
our
she would
producer.
hold up fingers.
Yep, that's correct. Or she
Yeah.
would draw on her
Usually
on the
one,
whiteboard.
maybe two, but
I think we still have on the whiteboard the
Yeah.
drawing from
Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
where
Correct.
the octopus is holding onto the sub.
Yeah. But it's a $5 foot long.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she was still coming when we started live streaming, and she would sit under the camera so no one knew she was there.
Yeah.
And I think one or two times you would see like a hand come out to show the rating, and that was it. Yeah, she's been on the show a lot.
Yeah. But she just no. You won't hear her because she just. And I'm like, well, you don't really have to listen to your own voice, you know.
Yeah, no.
Unless you edit it. And then
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Don't ever try to edit a solo podcast either.
the
It'll
worst.
drive you insane.
Yeah.
Your own voice and your own vocal tics will drive you insane.
Yep.
Ask me how I know.
I had to I did some voice work for work actually, and I had to edit my own voice for like, I don't know. I was working on it for like 2 hours, and I just, when I was done, I saved the file, I threw my headphones, and I just walked outside and stood outside for like 15 minutes, just listening to silence.
It's weird. It never bothered me editing my own parts when I was doing our collective thing, but like he said, doing it completely solo, that's what was maddening. Because like not having any play off of anybody and trying to be coherent and I don't know, entertaining with like with not too much pause and not one of those like we cut after every word, so it just sounds like one giant run-on sentence. You know, things that people do with podcasts, where it's like cut
that
out all
auto
silent-
edit thing that removes the gaps.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, that's why every single solo Patreon thing we started, we ended.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because we all can't stand our own voices.
Me, it wasn't that. It was just time.
Yeah, I know.
It was I couldn't edit it work anymore because they took away Audition, and I was like, well, fuck, I can't do that. And I also realized like that errors were getting out. Like I'd rearrange a sentence because the dog would interrupt me or something, and then I'd restart it, and then I'd realize like the part I cut out, I never pasted back in. So like I would be like, well, that sounds really weird. Like when I'd actually listen back to the podcast to try and QA it, so to speak, and then I was like, oh, this is driving me crazy.
Yeah,
I need to. One day I'll get back to it. Sorry, patrons.
Yeah, we spent all that money on that box set.
I was
Oh,
gonna,
it's
and I was going to
so
give that
much
away
money.
when I was done.
It's so much more.
Yeah, it's no. Well. Oh well. Anyway, next one up is Kyle. Hi, Kyle. AKA Marvel Zombie 616.
Are we sure we don't want to read that
chat?
as the last
Do you want me to read that later?
Oh, no, it's
Okay.
after 11 o'clock. If he's
Yeah,
here.
if Kyle's not here now,
Yeah.
he's never going to be here.
Right.
But Kyle says, congrats.
Thanks.
Hey, BMFcast. Kyle here. Congratulations on 10 freaking years. Looking back, I'd have to say my favorite moments would be when a movie surprises the shit out of you and gets a unanimous 5 jocks. The Punisher 1989 is a great example. I also love the detention episode for all the what the fuck did I just watch and why do I love it so much? And the puns. All the puns. Especially when the puns start to irritate each other. Sincerely, thanks for all the laughs over the years. I've discovered some truly amazing bad movies because of you guys. I can't express enough how you truly make my day when an episode drops. You've pulled me out of some dark days and left me with a smile. So thanks again for all the hard work. Crash and burn, Kyle.
Kyle is the world's biggest Punisher fan, so it's no surprise that he likes the Punisher episode.
Well, and
It's a good episode.
I'm glad it ended up being a 5 jocks episode.
Dolph
Can't
balls.
spell Punisher without
Dolph
No,
fun.
no, that was not. I thought Dolph Balls was Showdown in Little Tokyo.
It was.
No.
Showdown
I
in
don't
Little
know.
Tokyo.
He was in the sewer in The Punisher. And
Showdown in Little Tokyo is the Dolph Balls.
I don't
Yep.
there were Dolph balls in The Punisher.
there might have been. That might have been Dolph Balls round 2.
I'm gonna look it up now. I'm gonna Google Dolph Balls. I hope you know that.
I'm telling you, it's
that's
Showdown in Little Tokyo.
I know that's the episode title. So
Uh-oh.
Have you Googled Clowno yet?
I'm about
keep
to be
our-
proven
our-
wrong, aren't I?
Our rating?
But there's the tension. You can cut it with a knife. How fast can a man Google?
what's the name of the episode? Wasn't it? Ah, come on.
I know I coined the phrase.
Come
but
on.
Oh, looks like the chat may have.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the title of any episode.
According to Taylor in the chat, there were Dolph Balls on the Punisher.
That's
He was in the sewer naked near
Yes.
the end
But
of the movie.
wasn't that after? Did we do Showdown in Little Tokyo?
No, we did Punisher.
I think
first.
Showdown in Little Tokyo was.
Okay.
We're confusing it because Brandon Lee tells him that he has the biggest dick he's ever seen.
Yeah.
That may be.
But I remember, I thought it specifically was like he was like
some
meditating or
backlit-
something. Yeah,
That's what I remember
and
Dolph
it was
Balls
like
from.
there was like a silhouette of Dolph
There
Balls.
was a silhouette of
he
Dolph
was
Balls.
in his humble abode in the sewer in The Punisher where he lived, and he was meditating, and there were golf balls.
Oh, okay. I just remember meditating and like
I
in
feel
silhouette
very
of-
strongly about where he saw his balls.
I just did a Google search, and I'm sorry, but we have an episode named Philip the Cyborg. That cracks me up. What? I don't even know what movie it is. But we named an episode Philip the Cyborg.
What the fuck is wrong with us? How are we still doing?
Oh,
the only,
Cyborg Cop. His name was Philip.
The
Philip
only
the
reason
Cyborg.
that we're still doing this is because, well, for one, patrons pay for all of our hosting. We all have jobs. If we had to like make money at this, we would have been done in 7 episodes.
I have to admit, coming up with episode titles used to be my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Man. All
Uh,
right.
And once again, Kyle mentions that, like, that you make my day when an episode drops, and that shit, like, really resonates with me. Like, I don't follow podcasts quite closely enough, but there is other stuff that, that I've found that I get excited about that gets me through the day, and to know that we're that to other people is really humbling and really touching, and I'm glad that we can be there for you guys. It makes all the difference in the world to actually hear about it. I know that some of you guys have said similar things before, but every time I hear it, it makes me glad that we do what we do.
Well, it's knowing that we've made someone's day a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, if we never heard that kind of thing, it would be like, well, why are we're just in this room joking with each other for our own benefit, which
Yeah,
is
you
fine.
weren't here for like the first 40 episodes where we're just like begging, like, please email something. We'll send you a movie. We'll send you a DVD. All you have to do is email us.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah. And next up, Steve like the bird heron. Tells his 10 motherfucking years with a Z.
Oh.
BMFcast. I have no idea how y'all did it. 10 years of podcasting is a goddamn miracle, but I'm sure as hell glad that you did. Here's 3 cheers to the best damn podcast I know, and here's hoping for 10 more years kicking bad movies' asses. Crash and Burn, Steve like the bird. Sent via one of those oversized greeting cards that have confetti and play Buster Dexter's Hot, Hot, Hot. Whether or not it has a kitten wearing a funny hat on the front, I'll leave up to your imagination.
It does.
Is that
Thanks,
Poindexter? You just said Buster Dexter.
It is
Did I?
Buster Poindexter.
Buster Dexter.
He wrote Buster Dexter.
Oh.
Maybe it's a different Hot, Hot, Hot. I don't know.
Oh, no, it's the same hot.
But it's Steve's a youngin', so
Here's
he,
a
he
fun-
wasn't
yeah.
there.
That's
Here's a-
true.
here's a
He
fun
was
fact.
He was a zygote when we started.
We
this.
have been doing this show for half of Steve's life.
Yeah.
Is it only half?
I feel like, yeah.
I think it may be slightly more than half of Steve's life.
We have been doing this show for longer than half of the time Steve has been on this planet.
And Steve did note in the chat that The Punisher was his first episode.
Oh,
Okay.
so he wouldn't know the balls were right there.
He should know.
That kind of
Right
thing
there.
sticks with you.
Yeah.
Golf balls.
Especially as a young, impressionable youth.
Yes, a young man of 10.
10 years. We're at 457 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that we've kept up 45 episodes, 45.7 episodes a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't take
Like-
that many off.
We
really.
don't take episodes
It changed
off.
a little bit recently because we don't try and cram no quarters into the same week.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
We started doing 3 in 1 most months.
That's, I think, we had our average up for a while, and I think that's brought our average down a little bit.
What,
but
for about 6 months to a year, we did like alternating weeks.
Yep.
So that really fucked our numbers up for a while.
Yeah. Well, in the first year was just all over the place,
Yeah.
too. Because there were some weeks where we wouldn't have anything, and then there'd be 3 episodes in 1 week.
Yeah.
And and then finally we're like, no, we need to just put them out on Fridays. But that whole schedule is why, like, Raptor Island got just trashed because we were just like, this episode sucks.
Yeah.
We're not putting it out.
It did. It was like, bad movies, nothing. Good day, sir.
Yeah.
25 minutes of us trying to figure out how to say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that made us stay away from Sci-Fi Channel movies for a long time.
and we still do now for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, we do.
We did that Ron Perlman one,
Yeah.
the Monkey Island or
And we
whatever,
paid for it.
whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah. Did it have a secret?
Secret of Monkey Island?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. It's whatever that baboon movie was.
I know. I
We invited Le Chuck.
Fuck, I can't.
Oh, shit. I never thought about that. Okay. Moving on. Jay from Vegas says, a decade of BMF. Hey, BMF crew.
Hey.
Jagus here. And back when I started listening to the BMFcast, I was Jay from California, and it was 2011. At the time, I carried a torch for a movie I saw on HBO as a kid. No one ever mentioned it. Few people heard of it. And when I heard you guys scream, fucking robot jocks, I knew this was my podcast. All these years later, I feel like I've come to know you guys and your taste in movies to the point where I feel like you get my taste in movies for the most part. You guys never got on my Bollywood kick because of the absurd length of those movies, but you also shared so many great movies with me, like Stunt Rock and Omega Cop. I don't know how much time you all have left in you, as so many podcasts I love are dropping off, but I'm going to support you and promote you until you make your final Jocks or Bags ratings. On this, the 10th anniversary of BMFcast, can I get a fucking Robot Jocks? Crash and Burn J, sent from the iPod Nano. I used to listen to the first 50 episodes of the BMFcast.
We're going to do this on 3?
Yep.
1.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, and then go,
One,
or
two,
on
three,
3 go?
Cut the red wire.
1, 2, 3.
Fucking Robot Jocks! It's been a while. Thank
Sorry.
you.
There you go.
All right, we suggest you take your headphones off. Probably should have said that before we did that.
Oh, yeah, by the way,
we did.
And they knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. You might want to rewind and take your headphones off.
Rewind and also turn
Yeah.
your car stereo down.
just blow it out.
Yeah. We did destroy someone's car stereo, didn't
Yeah.
we?
What?
Write in if you were that person whose car stereo we destroyed with
Well-
screaming about Robot Jocks.
A man destroyed his colon. And so that's about
That
our
happened on a
Fiber
train.
One rant.
And now has a semicolon.
Oh my god. All right. We got one more.
Okay.
This one's from Wendy, aka Uppercut Fist Wizard, on the Discord, and she says, "For 10 years, BMFcast, a decade of excellence. There's something to be said for how important something as simple as a podcast can be in our lives. I've been a long-time listener to BMFcast since 2012, when I had to have something to keep me from jumping out of the window on a bus trip from Delaware to upstate New York in high school. I listened to a lot of different podcasts, but the BMFcast was one of the only ones that stuck with me. You guys always seem to be having fun, laughing, and taking joy in movies that range from forgotten to despised to over the top and hammy. BMFcast was and still is a constant in my library, and it has come with me to college in New England, to vacation at the beach, and on all the plane, train, and automobile rides in between. Even when I was fighting through depression, you guys were one of my go-to sources for positivity and smiles. You may not be the only podcast I listen to, but you are by far my favorite. Here's to another 10 years of crappy movies and great shows. Wendy, a.k.a. Uppercut Fist Wizard. P.S. Here's a pic of me and my bro. He loves the show as well, and we've had a lot of fun times listening together." And she's got a picture of them both, and it's very nice.
It is very sweet. I saw that picture when it came in.
Yep.
We are
But-
happy to have you along.
Yeah, but thanks, Wendy.
Sorry,
Thanks
sorry
for
we
listening.
went through our little dips and I'm not going to say depression because that's callous, but our little dips in being less than happy. But we try.
Yeah.
We try to put all the ills of the world behind us and come in and have a good time every week because it's the one time we can.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like,
Yes.
there was a moment during Blaxploitation History Month. I don't even remember which one it was. I think it was the first one we watched, Black Eye,
Yeah.
where I had just had like the shittiest day at work, like just fucking horrible. I think I didn't even get here till like almost like 8 o'clock, and you guys had to wait for me, you know, before we could do anything. And there was something about just watching that movie and being like, you know, suddenly I'm in the 70s with all these cool people, and like suddenly none of that shit mattered to me anymore. Like none of the utter bullshit I had to put up with for the entire day mattered, and it was just like watching the movie with you guys, and I could forget all of that stuff. And I hope that's kind of what people are getting out of listening to us. I mean, it sounds like making us more important than we are, but you know, I like
Just
it.
forget
Just
your
I hope,
troubles
yeah,
for a
I
couple
hope
of
it makes
hours.
people happy to listen to us, and that's
Yeah.
why I enjoy doing it. And I
Make-
know because like there's weeks where I miss, and I'm like, every once in a while I'll be like, okay, well I'm finally home, and I'll pop on the live stream, and I'm like, oh, I would have had a joke right there, you know, like there's like I'll listen to you guys, and it's like I just want to jump in, and it's like fuck, I can't because I'm not there, and like it hurts to miss episodes because I feel like I've missed out on that thing every week when I'm not there for it.
Well, I will say when I listened to the live stream when I was away and you guys did the Last Dragon, that was joyous from afar because it was like, I don't know, it was just like long distance synchronicity. You know,
Well, it was like 3 people who finally watched one of your favorite movies of all time, and we're on the same page.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you're the one who chose not to be here for it.
Well, I know.
You know?
I just knew.
I'm just saying.
I just knew I couldn't be. Like it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was too dangerous
Yeah.
to be.
No,
here.
and it's not even that. Like, I mean, I
You
don't
didn't
know.
want to influence.
I mean,
or...
well, no. I was just saying. Like, imagine if like we were like had one. Not that it's a bad movie, but like we're gonna watch Gremlins. Well, you've seen it how many times in your life, and like
Hey.
you'd be like, yeah, and then like someone would say something even ever slightly off, and you'd be like, no, this happens then, and then this, and it's like, okay, you know this too
Well,
well.
honestly,
whereas
like-
we've all seen it for the first time. you
Well,
know?
that's how we could do like the Cinescrote episode on Empire Strikes Back, because it's like I know that fucking movie by heart.
That's why we
like,
picked that movie.
Yeah, yeah, because it was just like we don't even need to think about
We didn't
any
watch it,
sequence
we-
of
yeah.
anything. You know, we could just go, and then go and go and go for like
Right.
4 hours of recording
Oh,
and
God.
editing down to 45 minutes.
But I mean, it's that kind of thing. Like, I would have been the pedantic guy. Like, no, you're getting this out of order, and he actually said exactly this. And, you know, like that because I've seen it so many goddamn times.
yeah,
You know, making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries, it sure would help a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
I would actually.
Listen to our fucking podcast every week.
And cheers for doing that.
Yeah. I don't want to sound like what we do is important. It's not. It's
Yeah.
it's cathartic for us because we all enjoy each other's company and we all have the same sense of humor and can, you know, play off each other and everything. And we genuinely enjoy watching the movies that we watch for the most part. I think we curate them pretty well. But honestly, to distract someone from what's bothering them for an hour and a half, 2 hours a week or whatever, and then maybe also what we're talking about inspires them to go watch it, you know, if they haven't seen it or want to see it again, that's another hour and a half that they have now are able to pull away from whatever the stupid world is doing. That's, I mean, it seems more important now than it did early on.
Yeah.
Like early on, it was just like, you know, everyone's on the internet talking about movies. And now it's like, yeah, everyone needs a distraction. And hopefully you like our brand of distraction.
Yeah, that's what I meant really when I was saying like I just hope that like that month or two where we adjusted to our new shit world, our new permanent alternate reality thing, and you know I think we all just kind of I don't know if we ever even really talked about it. If we were just kind of like we're like no, we need to get back to like just fucking forget it, watch the movie, make jokes. You know what I mean?
I think we kept it all in like the live stream stuff
Yeah.
outside the
Yeah,
show.
that's what
and
I mean,
on like
but-
the bonus thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying like we had to get back to like no, just like forget all that, like watch the movie, talk about the movie, make the old jokes.
It did get us to start drinking on air.
Well, I was gonna say I do feel like along the way I do feel like I mean everybody does. I feel like we've grown, like we've learned things are not okay to joke about on the long
Yeah.
way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
so-
I mean,
so-
there's definitely stuff I regret saying
Sure.
in early episodes.
Well,
but
my
it's like,
first episode, the
Yeah.
Deathstalker episode, there's not a chance we would be making those jokes today. That's a funny episode, and it's hard to detach from because it was my first episode and a fucking hilarious experience here in the room, but not a chance in hell we would be saying 75% of the things we said in that episode. And that's not a bad thing. That's just like, okay, look, we understand that this is not a thing that should be joked about, and
Well, and
we're
it's-
just not going to joke about it because
it's a matter of not wanting to exclude people
absolutely.
who didn't disqualify themselves.
Yes.
So to speak. Like, because, like, you know, obviously, if you read our iTunes reviews, like, people who are Trump voters probably are like, fuck these guys. And, you know, fuck you too. I mean, honestly, like, fuck you. But, I mean, and the way I see it is you've disqualified yourself. And if that matters that much to you, then that's fine. We'll part ways. It's no hard feelings. But, like, you know, if you're gay or if you're transsexual or whatever, I don't ever want you to feel like I'm picking on you or I'm punching down at you or anything like that.
Right.
And I know there's stuff that I said early on that probably came off that way because, you know, it took me a long time to realize how that behavior sucks.
Well, sure, and even
You
even just a phrase like I mean, I don't know how to say it, but like you can't say tranny's a bad thing to say. That's not the way to refer to somebody.
Yeah.
like that is becoming derogatory term. It's a thing that was like it was a term used colloquially that has turned into like a that, you know, it's like
Yeah.
a thing that even 5-10 years ago suddenly was like, no, we need to stop saying that word or something like that, you know.
Well,
So
just saying that, oh, that's gay, or
yeah.
that scene was the R word, or stuff like that was so common in like the mid 2000s. Like no
Right.
one was batting an eye at it because most people saying it didn't mean it in a derogatory way.
Right.
Not towards that particular group of individuals.
Yes,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it just became a thing of, oh, okay, this is offensive to people, so
Yeah, you just-
we're gonna just find another word. We didn't mean it that way, but also we're not gonna double down on it because that's what terrible people do.
Yeah.
We're gonna just stop saying it. We'll say something else to convey the same exact thought. Because that's the beauty of the English language. There are 19 words for every one meaning. And you could just pick another one.
Yeah, and I hate to say, but like when you hear someone accuse people of being SJWs or whatever, they're basically saying, I want to be shitty to strangers.
Exactly.
And why are you trying to stop me?
Yeah.
Like,
I want the freedom to be awful.
yeah. I want the freedom to make fun of people who aren't like me.
I
don't ever want to I don't ever want to come off as being like that I'm, excluding people.
I guess I'm trying to be so accepting that I would even go one step further. And believe me, this is a hard one. This is a hard step to make. I wouldn't even discount all quote unquote Trump voters because I
Yeah.
feel like some people might have voted for the wrong reason or like as a joke or whatever. I would go so far as to say current Trump supporters can go fuck themselves. like if you made a mistake and you're like, I fiscally this is why I think it makes sense or whatever, but it's like if you're still on board with it at this point,
You've doubled down.
You've doubled down, and
Yeah.
you need to take a look in a mirror for a period of time. Actually, maybe you need to stop looking in a mirror. That's probably a problem.
Yeah. But you know what?
Look
Then-
outside yourself.
Yeah.
Look through a window.
Try a window.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you don't need to listen to us. And maybe there are still episodes. I'm sure there's plenty of episodes you can listen to that where you're just not going to hear any of that. You know?
There's lots of them where we don't
Yeah.
make any political comments at all. But sometimes, because of the nature of the movies that we watch and the motivations of bad guys in a lot of those movies, it's like, oh, these are the people running the country now.
Yeah.
And it's easy to point that out, and it's relevant to point that out. So
Yeah.
To all this, I would just like to say, kill Whitey.
That's fine.
That's fine.
that's true.
or better yet, just sex him out of existence. I say that as a white man, please sex us into a wonderful shade of gray.
I've been long looking forward to our beautiful mocha colored future.
This Lou Diamond Phillips future.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
There was a thing that popped in my head earlier, and we're not about us being important or not. Like we're not. I don't consider us important to the world, or even to the United States, or even to our city necessarily.
This room, though, however,
Yeah.
Right.
Very important.
Very important.
Like we may not be important to the world or the city or geopolitics or whatever, but we are important to some people, and
it takes a village.
and that like
No, but that means something.
that means something. Yeah,
It does.
It means something, and there are like I've gone through a fair shake of not clinical or diagnosed, because I'm a man and I'm afraid to go to a therapist. But I've gone through, some bouts of depression and other sort of not quite good times in the last several years. And a lot of times I've thought about, like, I'm going to quit everything I'm doing. Like, the only thing I'm going to do is just go to my job and go home. And then I walk in the door because it's either it's routine or it's something that I feel like I'm obligated to do. And as soon as I sit down and start doing it, it's like, oh no, wait, this is really good. I really enjoy this. If I can remember what it feels like to be in the studio, or remember what it feels like to read one of those emails, or to get a tweet about an episode, or one of those, it reminds me of how good it is for me and how worth it is to do it. So I'm really glad that I'm really glad that I'm still here, and I'm really glad that you guys are still here to do this with. It's an awesome time.
Yeah, and it's
I'm sorry, I
it's,
stopped listening. What you said?
it's interesting to me. Like, I feel like this has made me a better movie watcher. Because I mean, before this, like I think the first episode we talked about are the worst movies you've ever seen, and I think Twister was mine, and it's like, it made me realize that like there actually are no bad movies. There are just movies that don't work for you. That every movie somebody enjoys on some level. There will always be someone who's like, no, I actually had fun with that, and.
Except maybe Dumpster Baby.
Except maybe Dumpster Baby, yes. However,
I have a friend who loves Forbidden Zone, who thinks it's
A
wonderful.
lot of people
yeah,
do.
and that's the thing. Like we had that as like the worst movie we've ever seen, but it was like Forbidden Zone accomplishes what it sets out to do, and there's something to be said for that. We all reject it. We're like, no, fuck everything about that, but it sets out to do something, and it succeeds in it, and you know, when I think about myself, like watching all sorts of, you know, just like I have to watch the Oscar movies, and you know, oh, I'll watch an action movie, but you know, I'll dumb myself down. You know, it's kind of like I was a very pretentious movie watcher, and I was trying to get through like the AFI Top 100 and like really understand all of them and why the things that are in them worked. And there's something I'm just like, nah, I don't like that movie, and I'm like, and it was more like, what's wrong with me that I don't like this movie? You know, like. Citizen Kane is the greatest movie ever. Why don't I really like it? You know, and it's like now I can see like it just didn't click, and that's what watching like a diet of having stuff that's supposed to be bad, along with and I think that's why the show works is we have the second half where we talk about like everything else, and we're like I watched this thing that was really good, and I want to talk about like early on it was like Moon. We were the huge champions of Moon because we're like we saw Moon. We're like everybody needs to fucking see Moon, and I think that's why a lot of other bad movie podcasts that started around the time we did are no longer around because that was all they watched and that was their only diet. And to me, that's like the same as the person who only watches Oscar bait or, Merchant Ivory stuff, like.
Well, it's like the supersize me thing where it's like, I'm eating nothing but shit. And like 2 days in, you're like, I feel like I'm going to die. It's like, well, yeah, you had you started with a triple quarter pounder. I don't know if you ever watched that movie, but he started with like the worst shit on the menu, and like 2 days in was like, I feel like I'm going to die. It's like, yeah, no fucking shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean,
Spurlock.
Thank you. Sorry.
Nailed it. Nice.
God damn it.
Nice one.
I love that we can.
Fucking Kirby Puckett over here.
But I feel like having that balance has made me better at watching movies and better at appreciating movies that accomplish what they set out to do. Because there are plenty of movies like Bird Box. Bird Box could be about so much more, but it accomplishes what it sets out to do: is make an entertaining horror type movie, a suspense movie, and I can be okay with that. Which is why my letterbox tends to trend very high for everything, because I'm like, no, that movie, it did what it was supposed to do.
We have now talked late enough that Kyle has arrived in the live stream.
Kyle made it. Yay. That means Mackie needs to go.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's like Lady Hawk. When Kyle shows up, Mackie has
That's
to
right.
go.
Yes, they never the two shall meet.
Just their
barely touch.
disembodied hands just almost touch.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
like,
Mackie becomes an eagle. Hawk, actually.
Yeah.
It's right there in the title, dumbass.
Lady Eagle.
Lady
Am I
Bird.
right?
Durr.
Yeah. No, but I just think it's doing this has made me better at observing things in movies that I wouldn't have noticed before. I would have watched Ready Player One and been like, all right, yeah, I guess that was all right. Iron Giant was kind of dumb for being in that. That probably didn't work. And not really think about like, okay, what does this movie actually stand for? And then being like, man, this movie stands for bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, obviously there was some of that still there, considering Tree of Life almost beat out Fast 5 in my that year. So think about that for a minute.
Yeah. That's
I
weird.
can tell you which one I've watched more. I made the right decision.
There's still a pretentious film prick somewhere in there.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, I will never deny that. But at least I can appreciate things that aren't pretentious film bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we've said everything.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we have said
Yeah.
a lot.
We've been emotional.
But yeah, but man, 10 years. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
I don't know if you're saying that to us or to the listeners.
To them, but to you
Okay.
guys in particular. Like, thanks for continuing to want to do this. Because it's almost like working out. It's like if you don't have a partner, you kind of like,
Yeah.
maybe I'll skip today, maybe I won't. But like everyone's dedication to being here every week.
You never skip leg from off-screen day.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. But thanks for being there. Thanks for being friends.
Thank
And
you
I
for
mean
being
that,
a
and I
friend.
mean that genuinely. Like,
If we had a party and invited everyone we know.
No, but I'm trying to be serious
I
here.
know,
Damn
I
it.
know.
But like when you get later in life, it's harder and harder to make friends that you stick with, and to think that basically I met you guys like in my 30s, and I consider us really great friends, and I think that's a rare thing to find, is meeting people new that as your life goes on that you can get along with and have fun with and be dedicated to.
Yeah. Well, one of the weird things about that, like, as I've gotten older, all of my friends have kind of, like, we used to have tight friend groups. We'd see each other 2 or 3 times a week, and, like, we'd all hang out all the fucking time. And those groups have, we've all sort of expanded to fill other spaces. Our lives have gotten, more and more complicated or, just plain older. And like, this is a great excuse for us to hang out literally every week. We hang out for an entire night every single fucking week. With like the exception of maybe 2 or 3 weeks a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Chuck and I hang out usually Sunday afternoons too.
yeah. Like,
Yeah,
we
and
hang out all the time.
And at least 1 or 2 of those weeks that we don't record, it's because we're hanging out in another city
Right.
together.
We're going on vacation together.
Right, exactly. I need a break from you guys. Oh, you're all here. Well, let's do something together.
The amazing thing is we've never had a blow up. Like, there's never been a point where BJ and I have been like, no, fuck you. I mean, we do it, but we joke about it. We get over it real quick. It's never like, no, I'm fucking leaving and you can fuck off.
Yeah.
That's never happened with any of us.
Mm-mm. Closest we got was when Harlow really hated us for liking that one low-budget Force movie.
Low budget Force movie. I don't even remember.
It was one of those cheap DVDs we picked up at the horror convention. It was the one you and I liked, and they didn't.
Okay.
And you just didn't want to talk about it. And Mackie were like, "No, this is good. We want
okay.
Death Force."
Raw Force? No,
No.
not Raw Force. Lethal Force.
Yeah, it's over there on the shelf.
Yeah.
Um.
But we missed a lot of details about that.
Yeah.
Like that people that made it.
Yeah.
Like that were really
There's a lot of
into
movies over
grindhouse type stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we got dismissed a lot by a lot of people because we didn't understand a lot of that. But we just kind of went in so blind that we didn't even know what was happening.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've never had like, "Fuck you guys, I'm never coming back."
Yeah.
There's been nothing like that. And again, I wasn't here from the beginning, but I'm eternally grateful that you guys brought me in and let me stay.
Yeah.
I realized in retrospect that I went wild maverick, and once I realized what I had done on that episode, I was like, oh my god, I'm surprised they didn't kick me out for doing that. Like being like, hey, Chuck should be permanent now. I hadn't even
was
talked
fine.
about it
We
to
knew.
anybody. I was just like,
We knew.
I just like made a huge decision.
Hey, Chuck. Chuck, you had me at hello.
Decision.
I just still
right
think
I
off
think
the
you
cuff.
said hello. My name is Chuck, and we're going to watch Fast 5.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I'm still amazed that like how Chuck acted when we first met.
Which was?
We met like when we went to see Fast 5. We met at like Subway beforehand, and like I'm like, that looks like that guy on Twitter, because that's how we had been talking. We'd just been DMing back and forth. I was like, we're seeing Fast 5. You should come along. It'll
Yeah.
be fun.
Yep.
And I think like Green Cap went with us, and Fleabeard and a few other people
Yep.
were there, but we met it, and I'm like, hey, I'm Mackie, and you were like, oh hey, I'm Chuck.
Yeah.
And you were like very quiet,
I
very
was.
reserved.
Yes.
Like I think you didn't know how to react to us.
No, I didn't.
Well, again, it was during that period where everyone was telling us that the internet was trying to kill us, and that's where strangers that wanted to kill you were hanging out. And
Yeah,
lurking.
and suddenly there were
Yeah.
8 fuzzy-faced strangers in a subway.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all remember when people still went to Subway? Fuck that place.
Yeah, but but then by then by the time we were watching Fast Five, and it got real quiet, and I'm like, "This is the greatest fucking movie I've ever seen." And I hear Chuck start laughing at that, and
I laughed out loud so loud during that movie because, like, I had kind of explained to you guys that, like, man, fuck the Fast and Furious movies. They are bullshit.
I told you you're stupid.
And for the first half of that movie, I was sitting there with my arms crossed, just like, man, this fucking dude, bro, bullshit. And then they got to that bridge scene.
That was the first scene.
No. Late, like when Vin Diesel is launching off of cars, and
That's the first scene of the
No,
movie.
Oh
that's-
no! You're thinking about
thinking of
launching
Furious 6.
the
Am I?
Corvette off of the bridge.
Yeah, they launched the Corvette
Yes,
off the bridge at the
But
beginning
you're
of Fast
talking
5.
about jumping back and forth from the car to the tank.
Yes.
That's in 6.
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Never mind.
Well,
Yeah.
then whatever.
No,
It was great.
yeah, but 5. That was when, like, as they were flying through the air, I was just like, I want to have sex with this movie.
Yeah. It must have been when Vin Diesel and The Rock were punching each other through walls.
Yeah.
And then the bro handshake and just like, fuck yes, fuck everything. This movie's fantastic. I love all you guys. So
I kind of like, at least for me, like after the first episode, I was like, with you, Chuck. I was like, that worked. How did that work?
and then I went away for 5 weeks.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah. No, you
Did
went
we
away
just
once we
become best
promoted
friends?
you.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like
Let's
that.
build bunk
Well,
beds.
and I mean, Chuck came along at a time too where we were kind of like at a crossroads. I think because I think all of us were kind of like, "Is this going to go anywhere?"
And now we don't care.
Yeah, which I mean is what happens to a lot of shows where you're like, you think that you're going to be more popular than you are.
Oh, definitely when you start, you're like, man, this is going to catch on and it's going to be great.
Yeah, and there's a certain point where you feel like you've plateaued, and then when we were all kind of like, yeah, I mean, you know, and I don't even think we were on the regular Friday schedule at that point either. So we were just kind of like, yeah, whenever we can get there, we'll get together and do it. And then, I don't know, something must have clicked at some point, and especially once you were on, where it was like, oh, we were kind of like revitalized.
Yeah, we also. I mean, keeping a schedule has helped, but I think what happened with the scheduling was it just like we weren't getting a good day, like we weren't getting a consistent day, so we didn't always have a consistent amount of time for it to get edited, and then that was causing it to be like we couldn't guarantee that it would come out on Fridays or Mondays or the third Tuesday. And we're like, maybe we can get this all this shit straight. And you had a lot of stuff going on, and I had a lot of stuff going on as well. And we're like, we need to get this on schedule. Let's pick a day. And so we picked Tuesday or something, and then immediately, like the week
Had to
after,
reschedule it.
we're like, oh no, we need to go on Wednesday or something. I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the first time that Chuck came in and did the podcast, I was like, we had guests before, and I don't want to discount any of our guests because I think they've all I think all of our guests have been good. Like we've had Walt on, we've had Tobias, we've had Greencapped,
Yeah, Zark.
we've had Zark, yeah.
And like honestly, like that one that Dracula 3000 that Harlow and I did with Zark and Tobias, I still is like one of my favorite episodes because we had so many stupid things, and that movie was just like the right amount of stupid.
I wish I could have been there for that one,
Oh, it was so good.
but it wouldn't have been the same, honestly, had
Yeah.
I been there. But there was just something about Chuck that clicked just the right way, and I know I've given Chuck a whole bunch of shit the entire time I've known him, but I really do, and I think I've said this before, but I hope you take it to heart, have taken it to heart, and do take it to heart this time. I really think you bring a lot to what we do. I appreciate your efforts every week. You do a lot for us in movie picking and editing and keeping us on track sometimes. So I appreciate all of that work. I appreciate what you bring to the recording table every week, and I appreciate your friendship.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I said, thank you guys for
Ditto.
having me.
No, I especially appreciate you taking over the editing duties because I can't at work. Like,
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
And we appreciate the editing you did early on. I mean, you
Well,
used to
that
do
was-
way
I
more editing than
Fucking stupid back then.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm less stupid.
No, I mean,
You
seriously.
just have a better job.
That's why. I was too much of a perfectionist. That's why shit used to take forever to come out. Because I was like, that's got to come out. That's got to go out. This.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me how long, like, it took you
I was
three
like-
times the
yeah,
episode
yeah.
length.
I was happy
to-
when I got it down to like 2 to 1.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
let's just stop blowing each
Yeah,
other.
let-
Get the hell out of here.
let's keep doing it though.
Fine. What? Keep blowing each other?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no. Podcast.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
We can,
Yeah,
go,
I
we
guess
can
so.
go for another 10 years, right?
Sure,
Well, we'll try.
if the world allows it.
10 years is a long time.
A lot can change,
Yeah.
but we'll do it as long as we can.
Let's
How
do it
about
until
that?
the inevitable heat death of the earth.
Okay, fantastic.
Oh, so tomorrow? I guess?
No, we got 10 years.
Yeah.
We got another 10 good years left, and then
They say our generation is the last.
yeah, and then we're all gonna have to
and
move
then we're all
to
going to
like,
get yeeted into the sun.
yeah, and then we're gonna have to move to like the middle of Iowa because that will be the only dry land left.
That's just a myth.
Oh, you? Oh, okay.
Mhm.
It is a myth, isn't it?
It is
Yeah.
dry land.
Anyway, so if you want to write us, and we do, and there are people who wrote us other stuff like recommendations and other things. We will get to those next week. We knew this week was not going to be the week to do any of that stuff.
Right.
So if you've written us or if you've emailed us or called us, we'll get it on next week.
Yep. But if you want to know how to do that, BMF at BMFcast.com is the email. 9105-JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263 is the Garfield hotline. Check us out at BMFcast.com or YouTube.com/BMFcast. If you just go to the website, all the stuff is If you just go to the website, all the stuff is located in buttons on the right-hand side. Click them all, do the things.
Buttons.
Here's your end of the episode reminder that shirts will be coming soon in fantastic silver and are the same design as previous, but they will be in silver. They'll be open to patrons first. If you want to be a patron and get in on early shirt action, patreon.com/BMFcast. You can also get all sorts of extra super duper content there. We do a million hours of content, including things like Let's Slay, which is where we play some shmups.
And beat 'em ups.
And bumups.
Yep.
And we also do Doctor Who U, BMFcast Extra. I don't even know. There's a
That's
bunch.
pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
There's still some bonus BS pops up every once in a while.
Bonus BS.
The archive stuff is in there. Old No Pretense of Cool. It's the only place you can
Yeah.
get it anymore.
Yeah.
The Futurama stuff I did way back when, still there.
Literally,
That was
like
called-
you sign up, you get 1,000 hours of content like right away.
Yeah.
Right.
So
That was called Good News, everyone.
Yep.
it was.
That's a good
It was
title.
good while it lasted.
Yeah. It'll be back one day when, you know.
When I'm finally free of the shackles of my current employers.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. But that's it. Get in contact with us, and don't forget to get hyped for shirts.
Yep. And again, thank you for listening.
We appreciate
You guys make it
Absolutely.
worth it. It's fun. We'd keep doing it every week, but it's even more that you guys listen to it and enjoy it, and hopefully it makes your day a little bit better.
We didn't mean any of this with any kind of pretentiousness. It really is heartwarming that you guys enjoy it so much. So
Yep. Exactly. All right, well, let's get out of here, shall we?
it. Okay.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ,
I'm Chuck.
and this is BMFcast out.
Motherfucker.
Say it.
Motherfuckers.
Thanks.
Ears hurt. Must go home. Man. Whew. Philip the Cyborg.
Jesus Christ.
That's
So
just such a
dumb.
great thing to pop up randomly
I still,
when I did a search for Dolph balls.
every once in a while, I think about. I'm still the one
Clowno?
joke. The one joke that is still my favorite joke that I've ever made on this entire dumb thing.
What is it?
It's when we were talking about. Was it the Bronx Warriors or whatever? The
Maybe.
like you know
1990.
someone describing like I think it was like Fred Williams and everyone running around in gold mankini type things, and I said I too have invested heavily in gold man sacks. yeah. I just
Yep.
That's still my favorite.
Sometimes I feel like you write those.
I did.
Like you watch the movies ahead of time and write those jokes out while you're sitting
Oh
at
my
work and
God.
chuckling to yourself.
I still that's just I don't know.
You have a gift.
Yeah,
I think my favorite one I did was pre-Chuck. Was when we watched Jack Frost, the terrible Michael Keaton one,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, yeah, the kid picks up the the kid had the proper reaction to Jack Frost because he wasn't like, wow, there must have been some magic in that old silk hat we found. He's like, fuck, what the fuck is this thing? Fuck.
I'm pretty sure. Didn't I did one clip episode, right? I don't know if it was like for 100 or something.
Yeah.
No, was it?
There was
Like the one I did.
There was one that was clips that was like episode 8 or something, like Hudson Hawk. The second
Maybe
half
that's what it
bloopers.
was. No, this wasn't.
No,
like,
there was-
this wasn't bloopers. It was like for one of our like numbered ones. We were like,
There's a
let's
clip
not
show.
let's not do
Oh.
a second half, and I just did.
Yep.
I pulled clips.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And I think the Jack Frost one was in there.
It was a milestone episode, whatever it was. It was just like second half. Enjoy these clips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably like episode 25.
No, it was in
Episode
the
50, something we thought was a big number. Now we have 600 days of podcast material out there on the internet.
I still think the best episode title we ever came up with was actually the No Quarters one the day after the election, which was Somber Day, Amigo.
Oh my God.
Fucking hell, that was just like, whoever said that out loud, that was the best fucking thing. Just like, yep, type that fucking thing in.
Oh well.
But Philip the Cyborg is pretty good too. I like that we had to Google Dolph Balls and couldn't find anything but Philip the Cyborg.
Did you sign out of Google and search Clowndo and see if we're still number one? Because you can't be signed in.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
it tailors your results based on sites you search.
I'll just do incognito.
Yeah.
We didn't even mention Poodle.
Oh yeah, fuck.
That was the best thing about that fucking.
Oh, you know what? You know what happens now? There's something called Clownado, and it.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like,
Fuck
did you mean Clownado? No, I meant Clowndo, motherfucker. Wow. We're
Oh, there it is.
we're still in the
We're like
mix.
6th. Got episode 16. Jesus.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
I remember